right. Dude, I want to thank you for actually coming on because honestly, when you look in the online space a lot, there's a lot of guys giving advice who should not be giving advice. Not going to say names or anything like that, but I know you've built up your company and everything like that. What makes you want to give advice and like really give back?
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Excited just to honestly chat and just break some shit down. But
Yeah.
to be honest, I mean, you could kind of consider it almost a selfish reason.
Mhm.
I'm really just trying to put myself out there on a personal brand level, and just making content around the things that I
Mhm.
know has introduced me to people like Ty Lopez, Dan Bilzerian,
Mhm.
Sartain, you guys.
Yeah.
And so just really marketing yourself as a man nowadays it's mandatory. So
Right.
it's either you are a nobody, you have 200 followers on Instagram or whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
And nobody knows you. That in today's, environment, that
Mhm.
can only hurt you. When you're meeting a new person, maybe they're high status, maybe it's a
Mhm.
chick, whatever, and you pull up your gram and you got no views, you got no followers, you have no social proof. Who are you?
Yeah.
You're a nobody, and so it looks low status. And
Mhm.
so
And you might be really high status,
Yeah.
but if no one can see it, what's the point?
you could be a billionaire and you could have 0 followers on Instagram because you don't give a shit about that type of vanity metric, whatever. But as a man, you have to think about yourself from other people's point of views, right? And so,
Mhm.
it's been kind of a selfish reason, but also I realize that I do have value that I could bring. I could
Mhm.
show people, what is possible. I
Mhm.
can also, share my knowledge free of charge with which if somebody in Wisconsin who is totally lost. They see one of my videos and they're like, maybe I can make money online. Maybe
Mhm.
I can have these things. Maybe I can
Mhm.
do whatever it is that I want to do in life because they saw my video. That's a huge ROI for me
Right.
just by putting myself out there. Right. And the reason why I talk about business, side hustles, making money is because honestly, that's like what I know, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm not a dating expert. I'm not, a fitness expert or an athlete or anything. I'm an entrepreneur, and I have been, selling things online. I've been hustling for
Mhm.
10 years, so I've been literally like I started, when I was really, really young, like when I was like 13, I actually was a busboy in my grandparents' restaurant, and I was running circles around all the other employees. I was making them pissed off at me because they're like, why are you working so hard?
Mhm.
I was like, because I want to be the best,
Yeah.
and so I've been hustling from a very young age. Like
Mhm.
I actually first started, I guess being like an entrepreneur. I literally was buying smartwatches from China when I was like 17 years old, and I was putting them up on OfferUp, and I was driving my dad's truck around
Mhm.
selling them via just by hand,
Yeah.
like 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 40 bucks. Like I had them listed for like
Mhm.
40 bucks, and fuckers would try to grind me down. I'd be like, no, I drove here, and I wasted $3 on gas, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'll take 30, right? And so I've been hustling from a very young age. And so basically it's all that I know.
So was
And
like
so when you want to make content, you don't
Mhm.
want to bullshit.
Right.
Like I'm not going to go out here and like pretend that I'm some guru. I'm just going to talk about shit that I know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do like definitely appreciate that. Like you don't have to make this content, right?
No.
Your company does enough to where like you don't have to. And I think a lot of young guys, 'cause I know it's a motivator for you, right? Is helping a lot of younger guys who are in a similar position to you. They fall into a lot of these traps because these guys like sell courses on making money and that's their entire business, but they're not actually providing value into the real world, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people start social media is because they want to sell a course.
Yeah.
And so like, no joke, I probably, I mean, still to this day, I haven't made a piece of content besides I've been on a few podcasts and I've, repurposed it to my Instagram or whatnot, but I haven't made like an actual piece of content for like over a year because I kind of fulfilled my goal. I was like, I put myself out there. I got over 20 million views on Instagram the first month that I launched my basically my content push, right?
Yeah.
So I was doing mock podcasts with my business partner, Brandon, and we were just kind of sitting there just like this. And we were like role playing, asking each other questions and everything just around the topics that we knew were viral. Right. And so I did that for literally only 2 months. And, basically the first month and a half, I would say first 45 days, it took me like 15 days to kind of get some momentum. And then, 45 days in, I had over 20 million views on Instagram. I had over, I think 20 or 30 million
This
views
was
on
all
TikToks,
organic?
all organic.
Wow.
All organic. Why would I pay an ad for something that I don't sell. Like I'm not selling anything besides myself. Right.
Right.
So, I haven't made a piece of content. And so people still to this day, going back to the point, they're still like DMing me, like, do you have a course? Like, do you like help me? And I feel bad because like I'm helping them through my content, just giving it away for free. Like, and I don't have a course. Right. And so people are kind of confused. They're like, why are you making videos about how to make money and like giving this shit away for free if you don't have an offer? Like even Ty Lopez was like, what do you have an offer? Do you have a course? Because just by like looking at my Instagram, if you go through my reels, it's like all like side hustles and making money and TikTok.
Yeah, it's all value.
It's all like how to make money type shit. And so the actual goal of it is to build a personal brand, get social proof. People know me, they see my face, and using that to network with other higher status people. Yeah. And because when you go meet these other high status people, they're like, hey, do you know so-and-so? Have you tried this? Like when you get a lot of views and you start meeting these high net worth and famous people, they know shit that you cannot find on YouTube. They know shit that you can't find anywhere. Right. And so like for me, like basically figuring out like how to, for example, set up your company after you make $100 million when you're going to go to that next step of $1 billion. That's something that you can't Google. That's something that you can't find on YouTube.
There's no course on that.
No,
there's no course on that.
The only way to figure that out is through meeting other people that are high value, high net worth people. That's the only way that you can do it, is through networking. And so social media, Instagram is networking on steroids. It's networking at scale. Right. Right. Or you could go out, you could go to all the clubs, go to VIP, whatever, and meet all these people manually. Or you can go get a shitload of views on social media pertaining to your niche that you're in, and people come to you. So it's kind of just flipping it on its head. And that's the reason why I do and why I did push my social.
Yeah, I do. I think I'm glad you brought that up, man, because I think a lot of guys, specifically guys, if you're a hot girl, you pretty much get away with that. But I'm saying
post ass pics and you're good.
Yeah, that's it. And you'll get 1 million followers if you're hot enough. But with guys, I think a lot of guys neglect this. And it seems like you hit a turning point because at least from the MOA side of things, right? When we're talking to people, we see a lot of guys who are actually really successful, right? They have the cool business, they run the hedge fund, they have the foundation, whatever it is. But because they don't have any brand, they don't have any social media, they don't have anything, it's almost like all of that success doesn't even exist. Right. And they don't have any dates, they don't have any connections, not going to any parties.
100%.
When did you kind of realize like, hey, like I put enough into building the business, now I need to focus on my image and my brand?
Yeah. So I had been wanting to focus on my personal brand and like getting myself out there more probably since like 2019, 2020, around then. But I wasn't ready because my business was still in its kind of fledgling, state. But then I got, I figured it out on the business side. Right. And things really, like, it took me a long time. Like, it took me like probably like 6 or 7 years of falling on my face, like literally going broke, like losing hundreds of thousands of dollars multiple times. And just like basically flat out failing to where at the point where it's like most people were like, yo, dude, like you should maybe get a job or something because you're fucking broke and your shit's not working. Right. But once I figured it out, I was like, okay. And here's the secret that a lot of people don't know with regards to becoming a successful man, right? There's different buckets that you have to fill. Yeah. There's not just money. Like if you're just super rich, how does that help you? Okay. You can have a nice house. You can have nice cars. You can have nice things. You can have nice experiences. And that's great. But that's only one thing, one piece of value that you bring to the table. And then there's these other buckets called status, right? And status is knowing people, having social leverage, having social power, connections, right? Fame kind of plays into status. Yeah. Right. Social proof, which is like, your friends around you, kind of plays into status. And then there's
and people often conflate that money equals status, and it's not. Couldn't be further.
I know a bunch of rich nerds that people think are fucking lame. You see a guy and he's a coder, let's just say, and he like made this piece of software and he's worth $250 million. He's a fucking nerd, has no social media. How would you know that? How would you know that this person is high status? You wouldn't. Right. And so money is just literally potential power. It's fuel in your gas tank. But if you don't have a life to like use this fuel for, it's kind of worthless in the beginning, right? And I'm not saying like, look, money is very important. Like get your paper up, number one, right? But there's these other buckets that you have to look at when you're building the man that you know you need to be, right? Because we're all competing.
Yeah.
Especially with social media now, a chick, right? She'll open up her phone and she'll see a guy, he's 6'5", fucking millionaire, super handsome guy, famous. And she's like looking at this guy like, that's my dream guy.
Yeah.
And then there's you're a fucking nerd. Maybe you made a shitload of money, but you look like a nerd. You know, you're out of shape. Nobody knows who you are. You're fucking, you don't have nothing going for you besides this one thing, right?
Yeah.
And so there's money, there's status, there's fitness as well. There's height, there's all these different things, right? And so as a man, you have to literally look at yourself in the mirror and be like, who are you, dude?
Yeah.
Who are you? And if people don't know who you are, you're a nobody. And in today's, environment, whether you're competing for friends, women, status, whatever it is, you have to have social media. You have to market yourself.
Yeah.
And if you go back and just even like go back to even first principles, like how does a business work? Like how do you make money? Marketing. You have a product that solves a problem. You have marketing, you have distribution, all these different things. If you take marketing away from a business, how are you going to get customers? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So as a man, if you're looking to build the life of your dreams, if you're looking to, find the girl of your dreams or whatever it is that's your goal, if you don't market yourself, you are fucked.
Yeah. And tell me if you agree with this, Wes. Like, I also feel like if you have like that brand, especially if it's your brand, they can take your money and your assets away from you, but they can't take that away from you. And that's something that can almost be even more valuable than the money itself.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Ty Lopez says that personal brands are basically the only thing that you should be doing right now. Like I'm definitely all in on personal brand, but I'm not at the point yet where I'm pushing like where I'm trying to get, 10 million followers or whatever and like do something crazy because I'm still working on my business and working on myself for the next few years until I'm ready to move on. But Ty Lopez is literally like, if you're not building a personal brand or you're not doing something with AI, you're blowing it basically. Right. And so the best thing about a personal brand is like look at Andrew Tate. They took all of his money. They took his Bugatti. They took all of his assets, his crypto. They took everything.
They seized that shit.
They seized everything.
Yeah.
Okay. But he built such an incredible personal brand that he got out of jail. He had nothing. And he switched his fucking domain, launched, his new 2.0 version of his program, and he's rich again.
Yeah.
But if he did not build Andrew Tate and he built the business some other way and happened to go to jail, he would be screwed because you'd have to rebuild his entire business all over again. It'd probably take 10 years. Right. So you have to look at yourself as a personal brand, as an asset that can't be taken away from you, but B is only going to produce infinite returns into the future. Like it's a compounding thing. Yeah. Right. Like every famous person that like they can if they stay relevant, they can pretty much drum up any sort of new business, anything that they want. There's so much power related to the personal brand that's unlike anything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if Elon Musk is like, I'm launching a new company, literally tomorrow, he would have investors giving him billions of dollars. Yeah. Because Elon.
It doesn't even matter if it's a good idea.
Doesn't matter.
He's Elon Musk.
People love Elon. And Elon is a brand.
Exactly.
And yes, like SpaceX and all of these things that he built around it. But if Elon didn't go on these podcasts and didn't go on Twitter and do all these things, X, whatever, then he would be so much less successful than he is now because he didn't have that brand, that personal brand asset.
So question for you on that. We talk about as a man, you need to be complete. You can't just have one bucket full. Is that something you always kind of knew instinctively, or is that something you learned along the way? Because it seems like you put a lot of time into getting the money and business aspect of things up and filling that bucket. Is that something you always knew that you had to fill all of them, or is that something that you learned over time?
No, I definitely learned it over time. Okay. To be honest, I think I was almost I think a lot of people are like this too, but I was almost in kind of a little bubble when I was younger. It wasn't very hard. It wasn't very hard for me to do anything when I was young, right? So I was on the baseball team, I was on the football team, I was in a fraternity. I always had friends. Yeah. And it wasn't hard for me. Like not all the girls, but like any girl that I usually wanted, I could get because I was friends with them. Like, you know what I mean? And they would seek me out because I had status. I had social proof. Like I had things going for me my whole life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I graduated college. I broke up with my chick. I was like, I want to like start kind of, you know, new. And I always wanted to be rich. You know, I equate my happiness. There's like a few, going back to the buckets thing. When you want to be successful, at life as well, there's different buckets you must fill, right? There's happiness, there's freedom, there's money, and all these things, and they all work together, right? But my biggest thing my entire life has been freedom. Yeah. Like I want to be able to travel where I want. I want to be able to go where I want to go. I want to be able to do what I want to do, and I don't want anyone fucking with me, right? And you cannot do that without money. So like the first thing on my list was get fucking rich. Because without getting rich, you don't have the type of freedom that you need to have in order to do whatever it is that you want. Right. Like right now, I could get on a private jet. I could go to any country in the entire world and I could do whatever the fuck I wanted for the next decade. Right now. And I'm not doing that because I still have shit to build. And that's not my purpose is not to go on vacation for the rest of my life. Yeah. I have a lot bigger plans. Right. But growing up, I didn't have it very hard. And so I had to figure this out after I became an adult. Like, I think a lot of people, you know, maybe they had no status when they were in high school. Maybe they had no friends. Maybe they, you know, were constantly rejected when they were younger. And that's, I think actually might be the norm. I did not have that. I had a very easy time. Right. But when I got into the real world, it hit me. I was like, holy shit, I'm broke. I'm out of shape. All these different things, you know, because I had.
So you didn't build up like the callous to that rejection early on.
No, I never had that problem. Ever. Yeah. And so I had to learn it after I was probably 23 years old. Right. And so I had to learn like, okay, like I'm not in a fraternity anymore. I'm not on the baseball team. Like, what do I have going for me? Nothing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And so like the biggest problem that I think most men have is that if they were like me, they have not had a hard time in life, or they have had things like girlfriends come easy to them or whatever. And then they hit the real world. And it's like, no, that's not how this shit works. Yeah. We're in the major leagues now. Yeah. And so the number one thing that any man that wants to be successful can do is look in the fucking mirror, be real with yourself and tell yourself the truth. Don't sugarcoat it. Tell yourself how in shape are you? Right? How much money do you have? How tall are you? All the different things. Yeah. Because it's all a scoring system, right? Right. And most men will fucking add that shit up and they're a 3 out of 10. Yeah. And they're wondering why isn't this girl wanting to fuck with me? Why when I go to a party and like there's high status guys there that I want to do business with, why do they not even fucking look twice at me? It's because you are a 2 or a 3 out of 10 lying to yourself that you're an 8. Or a 9 or a 10. You have this illusion that you have built up in your head to avoid pain. And you've probably based a lot of things, you know, from your childhood or whatever on that. And that's not the case anymore. Yeah. Like we're in the real fucking world. Right. And I think that's the number one thing that people need to figure out is they just need to be honest with themselves and realize that they ain't shit. And that's actually liberating because as a man, we have the choice of building the man that we know we could be. So what you must do is you must look at yourself now and then you must imagine yourself as you want to be. And then it's just a game of building that man every single day. Yeah. Right.
100%. When was that moment for you? Like, when was the moment where you had to look in this metaphorical mirror and tell yourself the truth? When that happened for you?
I don't know exactly when it happened, but I could tell you when my life changed. Yeah. And my life changed, honestly, when I did 75 hard. And the reason why...
When was this?
This was in 2020, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And so my life was already changing for the better. I was already, you know, I've gone to the gym my entire life, but I didn't go like insane with it. You know what I mean? And I've always, you know, dabbled around. Like I haven't, when I was younger, I had a super fast metabolism. I could eat whatever the fuck I wanted. And I was skinny. Right. And then like when I was in my mid 20s and like right when I graduated college, I was like drinking beer and eating like shit. I was out of shape. Yeah. And so I had to like bring that back in. Right. But like in 2020, shit was hitting the fan. I was already making like some pretty good money, but nothing like life changing.
Mhm.
And I was already like seeing some girls, but they weren't like the chicks that I wanted to see. And like I had been watching Andy Frisella. Are you familiar with Andy Frisella? Absolute stud, that guy. But anyways, Andy Frisella not only made me extremely rich, but also helped me build the man that I am today, and is going to help me basically keep going until the man I know I'm going to become, right? But what happened is I did 75 hard, and I realized that I had been lying to myself, because what 75 hard does is it says no booze for 75 days, gallon of water, 2 workouts, follow a diet, read 10 pages. And that's all you have to do. And it sounds easy, but then you're like you get invited to a party. People are like wanting to booze, or like you're out at dinner and your family's like, why are you eating this? Like, what the fuck? Like, enjoy your life. Right. And there's all these like kind of like micro things that compound throughout the whole process of 75 hard, where you're like, okay, this is why I'm not successful, because I can't stick to something.
Right.
I can't stick to a diet. I can't stick to a workout. I can't stick to reading books. I can't stick to, grinding every single day at my business. And that's what 75 hard teaches you. It's like, you're a liar. You're like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll eat healthy tomorrow. But guess what? Out of your entire life, the tomorrow, it's going to add up to 50% of your life. You know what I mean? So instead of like, I'm going to eat some pizza tonight because I'm out with friends. That turns into every single weekend you're like eating pizza, and that fucking 2 slices of pizza and the beer on the weekend literally kills your entire fitness, all of it. So you go to the gym for 6 days
like
a week.
20% makes the 100%.
It does.
Right?
It literally does. The 20% makes all the rest. And so that's when my life changed, because I went from like I thought that I had a nice body, and then I did 75 hard and I got a 6-pack, and I was like looking back at my photo before 75 hard, and I was like, wow, that guy is a fucking loser. No joke.
Yeah.
That guy is a loser. That guy eats pizza. Like, and that might sound insane, but like now I see people like, look, I'll eat a piece of pizza every once in a while.
Sure.
Right. Very rarely, but I will. And I'll eat Chipotle, and I'll eat like a protein protein style burger from In-N-Out, whatever. But like, I look back and I see people that like eat pizza and like go out and like drink beers and all this stuff. And I'm just like, are you a fucking millionaire? Like, I can tell if you like eat pizza and shit, you're probably not a fucking millionaire.
Yeah.
Because you have no discipline. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's when I figured it out. Honestly, 2020, I did 75 hard, realized I was a complete liar to myself. And I was not doing what I needed to do. I was not 100% committed. I was not 100% disciplined on what I needed to do.
Right. Right. Dude, I'm glad you brought that up, man, because a lot of guys are going to look at like somebody like you and think like, no, the most important thing is like the fucking roles, the company, the money, the houses, all that stuff. All that stuff is great.
Sure.
But honestly, and dude, tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I think if you could choose one thing, if you had to choose one thing, I think the fitness would be number one, because like on a podcast like this, I'm not interested in talking to the guy who, makes $100 million a year, but he's like 50 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
Or he can't talk to a girl, or he doesn't have any social or media, or vice versa. The guy who's in super good shape, roided up, but he has nothing going for him. Right. I think guys don't really realize they need to work on fucking everything.
Yeah.
When they look in that mirror.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, your process of becoming an actual successful human being, it starts with your body.
Yeah.
Because that is literally all you have. Like, if we stripped away everything from you and I, all we have is our mind and our body.
Yeah.
And what controls the body is actually the mind. And so if you cannot control your body through your mind, you can't control anything else in your life. So that is literally the first step. If you cannot get in shape, it directly correlates to everything else, literally. But if you can get in shape, you have now proved to your mind and your body that you are disciplined enough to achieve anything that you want in life. So once I realized, like, a lot of people, I know that it sounds crazy, but it's not that hard to get a 6-pack. It's not that hard to get jacked. Like, no joke. You just have to be disciplined. Like, you have to control what you put in your mouth, and you have to show up every single day and do that for 75 days. Sounds easy. It's fucking not. It's fucking not. Because when you're let's just say this, right? Just say a family member, your grandparents, whatever, are having a birthday party. It's your grandfather's 85th birthday and the whole family's there. And you haven't gotten your second workout in. It's 8:30 p.m. and they're serving cake. And they're like, Wes, have a piece of cake. And I'm like, I can't. And they're like, oh, your stupid fucking diet, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I can't. Like, I promised myself that I would literally not eat cake. I would stick to my diet for 75 days. And that criticism from your family, your friends, they're calling you a loser. That's like literally and if you take that and you're like, cave to that, that's why you're not successful.
Yeah.
Right. And that's when I literally learned that your discipline is directly correlated to how successful you are in your life. So when you fix your discipline problem, you can fix anything else. So if you're disciplined, you can get rich. If you're not disciplined, guess what? You're like, I can make that sales call tomorrow. I can do this tomorrow. Like it's not urgent.
And here's the other thing, dude. I'll die on this hill. Like, I don't know if I ever told you this. You didn't know me at the time, but I used to be like 210 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to be a fat motherfucker, dude.
Good for you, dude.
But
good for you fixing that shit.
I appreciate it.
That's nuts.
But the thing is that I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a mindset thing, but I definitely noticed, even though I was on Zoom, when I lost weight, I definitely made more sales. I got into better events. Obviously, more girls were interested in me. And I'm not saying I'm even in the best shape of my life yet. I'm still getting there. I'm still on a plan. But even just the 40 pounds that I've lost, I just see like how it translated, not just in like what I see in the mirror, just in how the world just responds to you.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, if you are overweight, you can eliminate the majority of your sexual partners, like potential sexual partners.
Yeah.
Goes out the window.
Yeah.
And if you're overweight, people are they don't respect you. Like they're just like, this guy can't even control how much cake that he fucking eats. Why should I buy this thing from him? Like they won't. Like it's even if it's a subconscious thing. Like, and you don't respect yourself. Like that's the biggest problem, is that you don't respect yourself enough to get in shape.
Right.
You fucking continue to procrastinate and sit around and like wish things would happen instead of fucking, no, I'm doing this shit. You can't even respect yourself enough to fix your own body. You deserve nothing else. You don't deserve money. You don't deserve happiness. You don't deserve the chick that you want. You don't deserve anything, because you can't even control your fucking, what you put in your damn mouth.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, dude, I think.
And I love food. Don't get me wrong. Like I fucking love food.
After this.
Dude, I love a good French fry. I like it. Like I love food, but like, do you want to enjoy that 30 seconds of dopamine that you get from eating those French fries, or do you want to be a millionaire? Because that is, as crazy as this sounds, that's the line. Yeah, that's the line. What you control putting in your mouth directly correlates to your income and everything else.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, man, like the way the world is going, like you see like the top, percentage of guys getting everything now. Like the gap has never been this wide. But here's the easiest thing. I think Michael says this a lot. Goggins also says this. It is actually not that hard to be good nowadays. It's not. Like, do you ever walk, like we live in Vegas, right? It's a different ball game, but you walk in the fucking airport, like so many fucking guys are fat.
They're all fat.
They're all fucking fat.
They're all fat.
They're out of shape. They all have a fucking gut. They have no upper body strength. And it's just like, bro,
do some fucking push-ups, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
if you have like a slight level of discipline, you are in like the top 10%.
100%.
Not
like that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm exactly saying. If you can control what you put in your mouth and go to the gym, you are like the top 3% of men. Like no joke. Like if you have a six-pack, you like make some money. Like I'm not saying that's all that you need, because it's not. But like you automatically put yourself
six-pack
head and
like
shoulders.
$70K a year, you are in like the top 5% of men.
Yeah,
easily.
And that's funny, because like most people that are watching this, they probably don't have a six-pack, but they think they're like, I have a good body. Like girls like dad bods. They'll say fucking whatever, bro. They're lying. They are lying.
Yeah.
They're fucking lying to themselves, which is the worst part. You don't think I used to go to the gym every single day, but I couldn't control what I put in my mouth. I couldn't control fucking going out and drinking all the time. And I didn't have a six-pack, but I was like, kind of like, had some muscle. And I would like go out to the beach and stuff, and I'd be like, I look pretty fucking good. I was a straight liar. I had been looking in the mirror and telling myself that I look good. And that's the tricky thing with the mind is that you can trick yourself into believing certain things, and you can use that for positive and negative.
Yeah.
So if you say over and over again, I can be a millionaire, you probably will be able to become a millionaire. But if you say every day, I look good, and you don't, I look good, I'm already rich, I have everything that I want, you're going to stay the same because you're lying to yourself, you're tricking yourself.
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, trick yourself the opposite way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
because look, society is trying to trick you. Like, bro, like I swear to God, because I'm in college, right? The amount of bullshit I see, and dude, go to Harvard. It's the best school in the world.
Very
the craziest. Yes, bro. Dude, like I swear to God, I see shit every day where it's like body acceptance, obesity is not a choice. It's mostly genetic. I'm like, shut the fuck up,
men
bro.
Can have babies.
Oh, go there. Yeah, men can have babies, but like, it's just
men
like
can have periods.
Men can have periods.
Let's just fucking let's just
lie to yourself.
Let's just make everything that we know. Let's just reverse it. How about that?
Like
men are women, women are men.
Obesity is not a choice.
Let's just reverse all of that.
Your diet has nothing to do with it. It's all
at the
genetic.
end of the day, bro. It all goes back to fucking standards.
Yeah.
Like we could accept like all this. Like I don't even want to get too political here, but like we could accept that everyone can be whatever it is they want. Men can be women. Blah blah blah. Sure. Where the fuck is our society gonna go? We're all gonna be looking like clowns at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But you need to step in. You need to have some standards.
Yeah.
Have some discipline and be like, okay, no, we're not doing that. This is what we're doing. And that is where I think a lot of the masculinity comes into play. Because as a masculine man, you have a goal, you have a vision, you have discipline, and you say, no, we're not doing that. That is what we're missing in the fucking world. Not the opposite of that, which is, yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can eat what you want. And like, you're going to still, you're fat, but you look
everybody's
beautiful.
Yes. You're fat and beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is why our society is fucking eroding. That's why everyone is becoming unhappy because no one comes in and has fucking standards.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, I'm supposed to find the fat chick beautiful, right? It's like, what the fuck are you trying to put on us, bro? It's crazy.
Dude, no, I'm not doing that.
Going
back on that. That's another thing that I think is funny because I see dudes that are fat and they're like, no fat chicks in the party. Or like, they're like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, looking at them, I'm like, bro, look in the fucking mirror. Like, I agree with you. Okay. Like, I'm not into obese.
I don't have fat chicks at the party.
I'm not into obese women. Yeah. But like, bro, you're obese. Like, you need that's your girl. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's your chick because like you look like her. Yeah. Like, so fix your shit. You know what I mean? Look in the fucking mirror, asshole. Yeah. Like I want to some fucking man I just want to slap in the face because they're just in denial. They're like, they think everything just coming to them magically. Like, no, bro.
Because bro, we're talking about like the delusions that women have. We're gonna get into that. Oh, don't get me wrong. But I also
they're delusional as fuck.
Yeah,
but men too.
But the men are also delusional, right? We're not holding the men accountable enough. Like there's so much victim.
No, the men are the problem.
Yeah.
Agreed. Because if men don't say how it is, then everybody just does whatever the fuck that they want.
100%.
That's how the world works. And like, you know, people can hate people. What I don't fucking care. That's just how it works. Look at the last 6,000 years. That's how it has been. Men have led, and now they're trying to demasculate men into not leading. And it's just like, yeah, we can do whatever we want. We can do whatever until we run off a fucking cliff because the man was like, no, we shouldn't fucking go off this cliff here. Like it's probably problematic. And they're like, no, we want to do it. We want to see if we can fly, blah, blah. No, like there has to be fucking a masculine frame, a masculine standard applied.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And talking like even the delusions of women come from men. Like, look, for what it's worth, right? You see it all the time when we're out, right? Like you see these fucking like 5s and 6s saying like, bro, dude, he's got to be 6'3". And they think they deserve this, but if you really look at it, right, why do these chicks think that? Well, it's because there's some fucking simp in their DMs sending them money, subscribing to their OnlyFans, and it's the men who are giving them this validation and giving them this standard.
Dude, the amount of times that I have heard, like, there's no shame on anybody, but the amount of times that I have heard a 6 fucking tell me that I'm the best that you're ever gonna get. The amount of times I have heard this in the last 3 or 4 years is insane. Where I'm just like,
They say it to your face.
Yes, they're like,
Crazy.
I'm like, you're the best. I'm the best that you're ever gonna get. Like they're like so fucking cocky. Like I'm so hot. I'm so pretty. And I was like I hope they're not watching this shit. But I'm just like,
I hope they are watching.
I was
this
like,
shit.
You're my Tuesday night. Like I'm not even gonna be seen publicly with you. Like, do you not understand? Like fuck. But like, I'm not an asshole, so I don't tell them that because I'm like, that's straight like mean. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be mean, and I'm having fun. I'm having fun with them, but it's like the amount of delusion is wild, and it's because some cuck is in their comment section or their DMs trying to drink their fucking bathwater, no matter if they're a 6 or whatever. Yeah. If they're a 6, it seems like even more fucking men are trying to drink their bathwater because they think that maybe she's attainable or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so
here's the other problem, you know, going back to filling the buckets of what we talked about earlier. Yeah. There's a lot of these guys who might be as rich as you're, richer than you, but they didn't work on everything else. So they're just like bigger and better simps. They just spend more money on her. They subscribe to more OnlyFans. They're just like, they're just that on steroids.
OnlyFans, I believe, has ruined women and men's relationships.
Yeah.
I think it seriously has, because think about you're a hot chick, right?
Yeah.
And you launch OnlyFans.
Yeah. And
you see the type of, first off, the volume of men that are simping for you.
Yeah.
And you see what they're writing to you. And you're seeing this behavior. How could you ever respect men the same again?
You can't.
You lose all respect for men.
Yeah.
Right? And so because of OnlyFans, women have lost, at least a lot of them, I believe, have lost a ton of respect for men.
Yeah.
Which has only hurt men in the dating market even more. Because now, let's just say you're an 8 and you're trying to even fuck a chick that's a 7 or a 6. And she's seen this type of filth. She doesn't respect you. So now you have to try even harder. You have to overcompensate even more. You need more fame, more status, more money. You need more charisma, more social proof.
Yeah. Than
ever. So it has totally accelerated what was already happening with social media.
Yeah. You know what's the interesting thing? You know, we were at Access the other night, right? And something I've really noticed, and Sartain and I talk about this all the time, and I don't give a fuck who watches this. I've just noticed that the hot girls, like the 10s out of 10s, have more realistic standards. It's something I've noticed. It's like always the like 6s and 7s who need like the 666. They need all this stuff. When you actually talk to like real, like legitimate Playboy models, sign models, stuff like that, show up on time. They're really gratuitous. They're like, no, I want a guy who does this. I want a guy to lead, take care of me, and do. They're very honest. But it's really interesting. Like when you look at the real delusion, the delusion doesn't come from the top. The delusion comes from the guys in the middle. It's the guys who are out of shape. It's the girls who aren't as attractive. Yeah. They're the ones who have the craziest standards that's causing all of this.
Yeah, I do. I think I agree that I do see more delusion in that range, in the middle. Well, not in the middle, but like 7s, 6s, and 5s. I think there's more delusion there.
Yeah.
But there's still delusion at the top. Let's not get complicated. There's still a ton of delusion there.
But in a situation,
the ones in the middle before social media and before this, they were getting way less attention.
Yeah.
And so they were probably more realistic.
Yeah.
But now, dude, if you are a woman and you are somewhat attractive, there's fuckers trying to get bobs and vagine in your goddamn comment section and in your DMs, even if you're a 5.
Yeah.
And so their delusion now off the charts. But it all stems back to men. Because if men weren't doing this type of filth and had some fucking standards, this wouldn't be happening either. But you can't change an entire populace. You can't.
Right.
Like, because if 10% of them are doing all the simping, it still fucks it up for the rest of us.
Yeah.
That's the facts.
So I guess
there's enough men to do a lot of simping out there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's more than 10% too.
Oh, for sure.
It's way more than that.
It's probably fucking 20 or 30%. I don't know, but
yeah.
I have friends that literally they rip OnlyFans and they're fucking like message me. It's like a buddy.
And they're rich too.
No, but it's like they're like have somewhat, you know, they have some money and they have some, you know, a good job, whatever. And they're like messaging me like, dude, like I fucking like send me a link to this chick. And it's like a hot chick on Instagram. She's fucking showing her ass, whatever. And I'm like, cool, you know, like another chick showing her ass. That's great. Like I don't really consume this type of content, but like, cool, she's hot, whatever. And he's like, dude, I've been fucking talking to this chick, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, where are you talking to her? He's like, OnlyFans. I'm like, dude,
bro, that's the worst.
You are a fucking idiot.
And they think they have game.
No, it's Andrew Tate fucking typing to you, dude.
Dude, it's some
You're
guy
getting
like,
hustled.
it's some dude in like Nepal, fucking like,
Probably.
yeah, like it's not
Probably.
her. It's that's the worst one where it's like they use money, like whether that's like they're on a sugar daddy site or they're paying prostitutes and escorts or they're like on OnlyFans, and they think they have.
And it'd be better if they were paying prostitutes than
at least
fucking
that's,
going
at least
on.
that's honest.
At least they're getting sex.
Yeah.
If they're on OnlyFans, they're fucking jacking off like losers.
Yeah.
So it's like, at least the guys that fuck escorts, I at least have I don't have much respect for you, but I have more respect for you than if you are literally paying chicks over the internet to talk to them, because that is what that's what most men are trying to avoid.
Because you're deluding yourself into thinking she likes you.
Bro, tell me, do you want to have sex with a chick or do you want to talk to her?
Obviously, you want to have sex with her.
Exactly. And so the people that are fucking talking to chicks on OnlyFans and paying them money are fucked. Like, they're the lowest of the low. Like, why are you like, you are doing what nobody wants to do? Like, something's fucking wrong with your brain, dude. Like, maybe it's the connection, maybe it's they're lonely. I don't know, but like, dude.
But even
know
even with the connection, bro, it's like unfortunately I see it because we go around to the strip clubs here sometimes, right? And you see like these guys, like that's like OnlyFans in person, right?
Yeah.
Like you see the girls like,
well, you're paying for attention from females.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
like these dudes like believe that like they
The
fall
chick
into it. They
the
believe
chick's
they believe the chick like wants to get to know them and shit.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
crazy.
Those chicks are hustlers.
Yeah.
And the more that she tricks you into thinking that she likes you, the more money that you spend with her.
Yeah.
And you think like men are so desperate, like those men are so desperate that they might even know it in the back of their minds.
They
And-
all know it.
Yeah, and they
just
lie
lie
to
to themselves, right?
They do.
They don't look in the
And
mirror.
guess what? The reason why men are simping at strip clubs, OnlyFans, all these things, is it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy. They don't have to become better.
Mhm.
They don't have to make a man of themselves.
Yeah.
They can just, here's a little money and fucking give me attention, and it soothes their problem temporarily while they lie to themselves.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at themselves and saying, I get no pussy, I need to become better.
Mhm.
Very simple process. I need to market myself more, whether that's in person, going out, meeting people, getting friends, doing social media. They would rather take the easy route, lie to themselves, the sweet lullabies, right? I'm okay, I'm good. And just like then getting their connection, the crumbs of connection through OnlyFans and social media and pornography and strip clubs and all of these filthy things.
Yeah.
Instead of biting the bullet, being honest with yourself and being like, I fucking suck. I need to become better.
Yeah.
And that's when you turn into a real fucking man, is when you know you suck. Because we've all been there.
Of course.
It's like no one is born, no one is born the ultimate man. Never. Every good man has had to build themselves. Like most people, they'll look at like Dan or Tate or whatever and be like, he inherited the money. He's funny, and so he became famous, or he knows how to say crazy things to get famous. It's like, no. These men worked for 20 years on themselves and learned and worked at becoming the man that they are today.
Yeah.
Not sitting on OnlyFans simping for fucking chicks.
Dude, I love the Dan hate. I mean, I don't love it, but it's just so ridiculous because how many rich guys do we know that don't get pussy at all? I know more rich guys than not who don't get any of that. So
For sure.
It's so funny they use that shit as an excuse. So here's my question for you, man. Like, obviously this wasn't like just a linear path for you, right? Like there was some hardship for you to get to where you are right now, right? And I think a lot of guys who are watching this are not going to be in your position or our position because they're starting from the bottom, right? They're starting their journey. So it seems like men need to change mentally so they can start getting the results that they want. So, what is the mindset that you think guys are lacking that's preventing them from having not just the money, but the life that they want?
Right. I think the number one secret to changing your mindset and becoming truly unshakable is twofold, right? Yeah. And it's not what you would normally think. It's not like it's I'll just go straight into it, right?
Yeah.
It's first starting with your mindset, but then you have to back your mindset with action.
Yeah.
And so you first start with the mindset, which is faith, right? Whether it's faith in God, faith in yourself, you must have some sort of belief that you can get to this destination over here, right? You have to believe, or else, the mind actually takes action. 95% of the thoughts that come are actually subconscious. So you must first start by planting into your mind the seed of faith that you can get what you want, right?
Yeah.
And so that's desire. So faith is the visualization of and the belief in the achievement of your ultimate desire, your ultimate goal, right? So that's step one.
Yeah.
That's the mindset. But then in order to support the mindset, you must back that mindset with a plan and take action on that plan. Because if you just think all these woo-woo things and that the universe is going to serve up your goal on a silver platter,
like the fucking secret.
Well, sure, the secret, that's one part of it. That's only one part, and you must start there. But then you must say, okay, I have faith that I can achieve X.
Yeah.
But without action and without a plan to get there, it's not going to happen. So you must use all of these things in a compounding manner. So you must start with faith, and you must see where you want to go. Then you must devise a plan in order to get there. And guess what? Your plan is going to fail. So guess what? Many times. So that's cool. That's cool. Make a new plan. It's fine. Don't give up on the destination. That brings into the next step, which is persistence, because your plan will fail. And if you give up at the first sign of failure, you are a loser. You're a failure. And guess how many times I have failed? Too many to count. I have been broke so many fucking times. When I was first starting my business, we lost not tens of thousands of dollars, but hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it seemed like every single thing that I touched literally turned to ash. And I had my business partner, and like, no joke, dude, like this guy was having, like, me too. We were so stressed out. He was having night terrors where
Brandon?
Where he would wake up in the middle of the night and like be fucking tripping out, like in a zombie sleep state, because we had lost over the course of the last year $300,000 on failures of products, failures with business partners. Things went wrong, right? But we did not give up. And so we failed for 6 or 7 straight years, like literally six or 7 straight years of straight cloudy, shitty depression. But I did not lose sight of the vision of where I knew that I was going.
Faith.
I lost faith sometimes.
Yeah.
But you have to build that shit back. You have to remember that without that faith and without that persistence, you have nothing. So you need faith in the goal, backed by persistent action and a plan, and reworking those plans until something fucking works. And after 20 plans, you will make the right plan, and it will get you to the next step.
Game at that point, right? Something's going to work.
It is. Benjamin Franklin failed 10,000 times at creating the incandescent light bulb. 10,000 failures.
Yeah.
You fail fucking 3 times. You approach 3 women and you give up.
Yeah.
You approach 3 women at the club and you're like, I'm ugly, and you go home. Right? And like, don't get me wrong, been there. Like, I have like been there. Everyone's been there. But like the thing that separates the true winners from the losers is persistence. And that's it.
Yeah.
Henry Ford, he basically created the first automobile, right? People were dickering around with creating automobiles, right? But he was the first one that actually created like a fucking buggy with a motor in it that didn't require a horse. And do you know how much persistence that takes to like create the first car? And everyone's like, why would we use your car that costs 10 times the amount that we just use horses? Your car breaks down, it fucking sucks. But this guy had a vision to where he wanted every single person to have a car instead of a horse-drawn carriage, right?
Yeah.
And it took him like 30 or 40 years to build that, right? Without persistence, he could have given up infinite amount of times, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how you have an unshakable mindset, is that you have to have faith, and you will lose faith sometimes. But you have to remember, you have to draw yourself back.
Yeah.
And you have to be like, okay, I have lost all faith. What do you do at that point? You got to go back to the drawing board. You got to remember why you're here, what your goal is, and you got to create a new plan to get there. And that will like reignite your mindset. You know what I mean? Because like you're going to lose it many, many times. And
how do
just
you
don't
maintain
give up,
that
basically.
confidence and that faith to keep going when you fail so much back to back?
Dude, delusion in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Right. And so you can delude yourself into like thinking that everything's okay, or you can delude yourself into, I'm going to be the most successful motherfucker in my entire lineage. I'm going to be the most successful person in this, thing that I'm doing better than anybody else. And I don't care if it takes 10, 20 years, I will get there. And that's the type of mindset that you have to have, because it probably will take that long, because you know, I got pretty rich in like the span of 3 or 4 years, but it took me 6 years of going broke over and over again to even start to get rich, right? And so you have to like you have to just know that it's a hockey stick path.
Yeah.
So that's how life is. It's all about momentum. So you're going to be chugging along. You're going to have dips. You're going to have little mini dips and rises, but it's going to take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And by the 10th year or so, right? Some people do it sooner. Some people do it later. You're going to get that hockey stick of momentum and growth where everything's fucking clicking and all of the, things that you have, all the failures you have has stacked on top of itself. And now because you have stacked up these failures, you are on a platform that has now risen. You have now rose above that basically. Right. And so that's how you have to do it. You have to delude yourself in the best possible way. Instead of deluding yourself that I'm good enough, blah, blah, blah. You must delude yourself that I am not good enough. I have to become so fucking rich. I have to become so fucking good at what I am, trying to do that it's unquestionable how good I am. Right. And you have to just keep that thought and that goal in the back of your mind until it's a reality.
Where did that mindset come from when it came to like the way you grew up, right? It seems like you always had that confidence, you had that drive, but like for you, a lot of guys don't have that drive to even be slightly above average. Where did that drive come from you?
I think that it's a tough question to ask, but I think I've always wanted to be the best at something forever. So when I was younger, I wanted to be a professional baseball player. And
you were at Chapman, right?
Yeah. But I played baseball my entire life. And I remember, like, this is no shade on my pops, but I remember one time I told my dad that I wanted to be a pro baseball player. And he basically shut it down. He's like, you're not good enough. Like, I don't think that's like realistic. And he's probably right. Okay. But he told me that when I was like 8 years old. And I think that it was that like where I was like pissed off almost.
Yeah.
To where I was like someone was telling me no, like you can't do that.
Yeah.
And I think my entire life, everyone has always told me that I can't do whatever it is that I want to do every single time. And that's how you know that you're on the right path. Everyone's telling you not to do it. Everyone's telling you to fucking take the safe route.
Yeah.
Right. And like, be realistic. And I think that's where I was like, fuck that shit, dude. I am going to be an absolute opposite of that. I'm going to be a straight demon to where I'm going to be so successful that everyone else can basically get fucked. Like whatever you say that I can't do, good. I'm going to fucking do it. And I'm going to shit on you once I have obtained that goal. So I think I've looked inward at myself over the years to try to figure out where that has come from, like why I wanted to get rich, like why I want to be successful. And I think it's because everyone my entire life has told me no. If everyone my entire life has told me you're so good, you're so handsome, you're so fucking charismatic, you're awesome, like blah, blah, blah. Maybe I would have taken that as like, I'm good enough. But my entire life, I've always been told that I'm not good enough and that I can't do these things. That has only driven me to prove people wrong.
Right. And did they have that? Did they still also tell you no when you were starting the business?
100%.
Yeah.
Like, dude, when I graduated college, my parents told me to get a job. Like, they were like, you should get a job. Like, definitely. And like, I love my parents, and like, I have a really good relationship with my parents. So this is no shade on them.
Yeah.
But we have had this conversation before, and they deny it. They're like, no, we supported you your entire time. No, you fucking didn't. And that's why I'm successful.
Yeah.
If they had supported me and like coddled me the entire time, maybe I wouldn't have been as successful. But they were like, no, you shouldn't do that. You should go get a corporate job. You should go do something else. And like, because you could get a good job, blah, blah, whatever it is that they told me. And I was like, fuck you. And then guess what? I fell on my face for 6 years, and they were like, what are you doing? Like, what
I told you so.
What are you doing? And like my sister was like, how's that going with your little thing? Like how's your little thing doing? Like, it's pretty
always those small little
pretty
digs,
fucking pretty lame, like blah, blah, blah. And so like, I always kind of had that chip on my shoulder to where I was like, fuck you. Like literally I will show you what the fuck I've been working on. And then I did. And like, now my family comes to me for advice rather than, you know, like trying to give me advice and like all these things. Now they actually come to me in confidence, you know, for business advice and for even life advice. And I'm only 30, right? And like I have my family coming to me for advice and they're like way older than me. So I think the tables have basically turned. But I think now I have like a different purpose, and I don't necessarily, I'm still trying to figure out like, because I have kind of achieved a lot of the goals that I set out to do. And so now I'm like having to reinvent new goals and like new whys about why I need to go do all these things, you know? And I think another thing is that if you have no drive, you might want to look at your testosterone levels. No joke.
For real.
If you fucking have no drive to like make money, get pussy, become fucking high status, you might have a testosterone problem.
Yeah.
You might need to stick a needle in your ass cheeks and fucking juice it up a little bit, brother. Like, I'm serious. Like, get on fucking gear or something, because you're going to get left in the dust and you're going to fucking be depressed. Like, at least hop on gear and fucking become successful.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. All right, I'm sold, Wes. I'm sold. We'll do it right after.
Transcend.
Hey, if the trans people can take gear, I mean,
dude, just get a trans friend and then just steal
her gear. Yeah, steal her.
Well, him.
Sorry, him.
There's only two genders, brother.
Sorry, steal his testosterone.
Well, depends. Maybe he has estrogen. You don't want to take that. If he's trying to become a woman.
No, if it's a woman who's transitioned to a man,
steal that.
You gotta
shit.
steal testosterone.
Yeah. Become 100%. Friends with they, and then fucking take and then take their fucking testosterone medication.
Oh, holy shit! I am so gonna get canceled for this podcast,
Whatever.
but I'm all fucking for it because I have guys like you.
It's okay.
But
you can blame it on me.
You know, I guess from that standpoint, what's your advice? Because now, you know, hindsight's always 20/20, right? Like Alex Hormozy says, like, you know, when he was in his 20s, he wanted to be a millionaire, but now that he's a millionaire, he would do anything to be in his 20s again. So my question to you is, for guys who are younger than you, who are in their 20s, just graduated college, maybe they just got through a breakup, maybe they've, you know, been shit on by life. What's your advice to those guys who are in the beginning of their journey?
The one thing that I would tell any person that's just graduated college, just got out of a breakup, just kind of started their life over again in the fucking real world is this. And it's not, you know, a side hustle. It's not, you know, any sort of specific advice. Okay. It is, get your motherfucking paper up. Get your paper up first. Like, literally focus on yourself, make bread. Okay. Focus on your fitness. Focus on basically those two things. Like, throw your dating, like, don't quit dating. Don't like go celibate. Like, that's gay. What you but seriously though, focus on no, but for real, focus on your fitness and focus on your money. Yeah, because those are the two things that a man can really, really take big sort of strides and leap forwards on in their 20s. Yeah, when you're 30 and you're broke, dude, your mind, like, you'll be fucked. Like, trust me, I have broke friends that are in their 30s and they're like, really, like, dude, they went to go get like a job as a waiter. And like, tell me how low status you are when you think that you're like killing it, and then you realize when you're 30 that you need to fucking become a waiter. Like, dude, talk about a mind fuck. And you never want to reach that. You never want to reach that point. So what I'm telling you is, get fucking jacked and make a lot of bread. And don't really worry about other things right now. Like, build an income source. Start a side hustle. Just hustle. Yeah. Make money on the internet. Yeah. Make money. Don't sell drugs. Don't do anything illegal for the money. Just start some sort of paper acquisition process. Start a system of making cheese, and then also go to the fucking gym. It's not that hard. Go to the gym, eat right, become a stud. Like, we're competing with a fucking Justin Waller, Andrew Tate, Dan Bilzerian. We are competing with these guys. Yeah, look at them. If we want,
and we're not just saying that, we're with these guys. Dude, like, we are competing.
We're competing with them. Yeah, this is an open marketplace. Like, women are opening up their social media app and they're seeing 10 out of 10 men that are rich, famous, successful, hung, fucking 6'7", right? And those are the guys that you're competing with. So take a look at yourself, realize, I need to get my money up, I need to get my fitness up, and I need to start filling up these buckets. And your 20s is literally the perfect time to do so, because by the time you're 30 and you got no bread, you're behind. Like, and also too,
Yeah.
men really hit their stride when they turn 30, 35 or so.
Mhm.
That's when men peak. That's when the men.
But if you do the work now,
if you do the work in your 20s,
if you do the work,
if you put in the solid effort in getting money,
Mhm.
getting your fitness right, getting your game up, building your charisma, building your status.
Mhm.
If you work on yourself in your 20s, you can then use your 30s to just explode your growth and have the life that you know that you that you can have. When you're 22 years old, bro, chicks aren't looking at you. Like that's just how it goes. Like when you're 22, you're a little fucking dork. Like these chicks are looking at 35-year-olds, like the hottest ones.
Yeah.
The hottest ones are on Instagram. They're like, this guy has a boat and like he has a lot of money and he's famous and he's hot. I'm going to go on his boat. Not who's this fucking 22-year-old dork with no facial hair. Tristan, just kidding. With no facial hair and no fucking money. Like maybe you're attractive. That's fine. But like, dude, you have to fill up all these buckets.
Yeah.
You can't just be fucking super attractive. Like that doesn't work anymore. And like women are different than men. They don't just look at an attractive guy and they want to fuck him. Yeah. They look at all of these other things because men are the ones that are having to do the approaching and having to take the action. Women are a filter. They are a rejection mechanism. So they're, even though you're fucking might be attractive or whatever, they're going to reject you because there's fucking 20 more just like you, bro. And they're fucking more hung than you. And they're taller than you. And they have way more money than you. So you're fucked, basically. Yeah. So what I'm saying is use your 20s to become better. Use your 20s to like build yourself as a man. So by the time that you're 35 or in your 30s, even before that, you can go out there and just kill the game. Or else if you're not building those things and you're just trying to chase pussy around your entire 20s, by the time you're 30, you're not going to have that potential power that you need to take advantage of your peak time. Right. You know, of when you're peaking as a man.
100%, dude. 100%. Another bucket that I don't think you necessarily are aware of it, but you definitely have it, is a bucket that I think a lot of guys miss is because, you know, we're going back to the analogy from earlier, right? Like the guy who just like builds like the fucking software that he sells for $250 million, but he's out of shape. He doesn't know how to talk to people. He's never spoke to a girl in his life. I think the theme of like what you're saying is like, work on everything. You got to work on fucking everything. So how important, question for you though. Yeah. How important is the bucket of being a good talker, being a good seller, and being just a great networker? How important has that bucket been for your success?
I think that's a great question. Yeah. And I think that to preface that question, I think it's more than that. Right. So I think as a man, you need to become him. Right. So if you go to the dictionary and you look up him, you might find Andrew Tate. You might find Donald Trump. Like Donald Trump, that guy is the closest to him that I've ever fucking seen. Yeah. When that guy has a goal, he will literally die on that goal. That guy gets whatever. Have you seen his wife? Yeah. Fucking hot. Have you seen how much money he has? Have you seen his jet? Have you seen the guy? Yeah. That guy is in the dictionary under him, Donald. Right. So it's more than just like even these buckets. I'm explaining these buckets because that's how the logical male brain works. It's like you have to like hit all of these things, but there's also that's the science part of life, right? Yeah. There's also an art to it. So the art side of life is, yes, I need to have all of these buckets. I need to provide all this value, but I also need to become someone because you can be super rich and you can like be all these things, but like, dude, you're still kind of a square. You know what I mean? Like you have no personality and you're not doing anything cool. Yeah. Like you might have all of these things, but you're just not cool. And like, you can still be probably 80% successful. Right. But if you want to actually become if you want to become someone, you have to become someone. As crazy as that is, like you have to do something. Yeah. You have to, like Joe Rogan, you have to be entertaining and funny and start a podcast and be super good at something. Yeah. Like, so I think the number one, the ultimate goal in life is, for me, is I think to become really good at something. Yeah. So I think all men should, yes, you should strive to fill up all these buckets, but you should also strive, and not everyone's going to be able to do this, but you should strive to become really good at something, and something that's cool to you, not cool to other people. Like, so if you think coding is really cool, dude, look at Elon Musk. Like that guy's wildly successful. He gets laid. He has fun. he's super rich. He gets to do what he wants and make an impact. That's his own kind of thing, right? Then you have Andrew Tate, totally different style. You have all. So as a man, while you're progressing through life, you should try to become really good at something. That's how I think that all the rest takes care of itself. Like imagine yourself walking out on a stage or something and you are fucking ripped, you're rich, and you have achieved something in life, some goal that you're the best at. Yeah. That is the ultimate goal. And when you do all of that, you know, and you're building all these buckets, you have now become something. And that's what I think gravitates people towards you, is like you are becoming this person, or you have become this person, and people can respect that. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we're all characters in this game. Right. Do you want to just be an NPC that's super fucking rich and like checks all the buckets, or do you want to be somebody? Do you want to be a character? Yeah. So it's about building this character. And when you build this character, you have to kind of take into consideration everything. But it's also not just a science, it's an art. Yeah. You have to have some personality. You have to have some style. Yeah. You know what I mean? You have to have some good, you have to be able to talk.
That's actually why I wanted you on the podcast. Because look, like being with Sartain and stuff like that, we meet a lot of rich guys every single day, but a lot of like, there's always most of the time, like just some glaring flaw that they fucking have. Like they're super fucking out of shape. They can't make eye contact. There might be a little autistic here and there, but like, I noticed when I like met you and like a couple of guys in our circle, like Dan and stuff like that, you guys like obviously worked on this area, but you've also mastered the things that like you guys get it, right? Sure. A lot of guys just don't get it. And that's the art that I think you're talking about.
Yeah. I think so too. Because like, dude, if you're looking at it just basically just only as a science, you're leaving a lot on the table. Yeah. Like it's
especially with women. You definitely leaving it.
It's like, dude, it's the whole thing. Like, dude, honestly, when I feel like when I had the most success is when I was doing something. Yeah. Right. And so like even with women, when I was in a fraternity and I was like doing something in the fraternity, as gay as that fucking sounds, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I had something going for me. Yeah. And so a lot of guys, men, nowadays they literally they have nothing going for them. They provide no value. They're the average Joe. Yeah. They're not doing shit with their life. And I think now, especially with social media, all of these other guys, they are doing something, and they're not only doing something, but they're also checking all these boxes, filling up all these buckets, and they're advertising that they're doing these things. And that's very attractive. Yeah. That's why everyone follows them, because they want to be like them, or they want to, for women, they want to fucking smash that guy. You know what I mean? They're putting them on their fucking wish list. Like when a chick follows you and you're like super famous, she's like literally wish listing you. She's like, oh, that guy, I like that guy. I need to see what he's doing. Right. And that's the art of it, is that you got nothing going for you, bro. Like, what are you doing in your life? What character are you becoming? Right. And that's why I said that there's an art and a science to it. Because if you just become this character, you might end up like Danny DeVito, or you might end up like one of these other like guys that maybe you didn't want to go there, you know? So if you're only focused on the art and the creativity of it and whatnot, without being in shape, making money and all these other things, you're leaving a lot of shit on the table there as well, you know? So it's just all kind of a cohesive puzzle. And I don't have it solved either, by the way.
For sure.
And like but yeah, that's basically it. You know, I don't want to keep going on that. So.
No, I totally understand that, brother. And I guess for you, you know, how obviously you want to get your bread up and stuff like that. I had a question for you. How did, like, once the business became successful, how did that impact, you know, your dating options?
I would say,
because you're somebody, it's not like you're somebody who always struggled with dating and never spoke to girls before that. No, right? You were good before.
I've never struggled with dating.
Yeah.
I think when I was building the business, it's not necessarily a mistake. It was planned, but I like pulled back 90%. Right? Like I didn't go out. I pulled back 90% of the chicks I was talking to, and I went to Puerto Rico. Like talk about no options. Puerto Rico's number one.
Well, Puerto Rico sucks.
Well, dude, in order to have chicks there, first off, it's BYOB. So like you can't just go around Puerto Rico and like pick up chicks. Like there's not many. Like there's not many ones that you'd want. Even though, dude,
Got
this whole Puerto Rican fucking, Latina mommy shit, the Puerto Rico, like that's not true. Like that is a lie.
No,
like,
dude.
I was there. It's a lie.
Yeah.
All the hot ones go to the Bronx or go to New York or go to fucking Miami.
Okay, that's where I'm getting skewed.
Dude,
yeah.
I'm serious. And like, yeah, they might be from Puerto Rico, but they don't live in Puerto Rico. So I think that was like a big thing for me, is that I like withdrew. But dude, I was so focused on becoming successful that I had to do it, or else I would have been distracted and like things wouldn't have gone, the way that they went. So I would say that actually maybe that, being successful in business on that side actually hurt my dating options. But I'll give you another example as well. Like I made enough money to where I got myself a penthouse. And so I had the best penthouse in San Diego. I got rid of it because I moved to Vegas. But I had the best penthouse in San Diego. It was 2 stories. The top was a fucking rooftop deck on the top of the building. Had a jacuzzi. I had a fucking cold plunge up there. I had like a day bed. I had a gym. Like I had the entire setup. I had a podcast studio in my fucking house. And when I would have parties there, the chicks would come over and they'd be like, whose house is this? And then they would come up to me and they would really be very interested in me. And so that part of having money, to where I built out my setup, that is what helped my dating life in that regard.
Yeah.
So I used the money to build a setup to have better dating options. Not I'm super rich and I have all this money. Like I use
You're
the
not
money.
leading with your money. You're using your money to create better situations.
To create a better setup.
Yeah.
And that's like the #1 book that any man should read if they're wanting to fix their dating.
Dude, I don't know how that book's
setup.
not a bestseller. It's like you look it up. It's not even.
He doesn't push it. Like nobody pushes it.
It's so good.
It's a great book.
Yeah.
It's a great book. And basically, it goes back. The reason why that book is the truth is because it goes back to literally the #1 principle in all of business and in life. And it goes back to Sun Tzu, which is the art of war.
Yeah.
Which is win all, take all without fighting, which exactly equates to win before the war, which equates to the setup. Set up your life properly and shit takes care of itself. Don't just become rich. When you become rich, get a nice house, have parties at that house.
Yeah.
Get a boat, have parties on the boat. Like go to exotic destinations, bring your friends, bring women, hire a photographer, like
put that shit on social media.
Yes. Yes. It's not fucking rocket appliances, brother.
Yeah. So where do you think a lot of rich guys, why do you think a lot of them struggle in dating? Because there's 2 options. They either struggle and they can't get girls at all, or the girls that they do get are some like financial fucking predators.
Yeah.
You seem like you've avoided that for the most part. Like, where do you think a lot of guys who are stacking their bread go wrong in dating?
I think why rich guys struggle in dating is because they have built up this framework in their mind that they are so high value and they are so deserving of whatever it is that they want in life because they have all this money. Money is just a tool.
Yeah.
So if I have a bunch of tools, or I have a very strong tool, and I think that everyone's going to gravitate towards me because I have this tool or this resource, whatever, you're stupid. Money is simply resources.
Yeah.
You have to deploy those resources in a manner that gets you laid. It's not hard. Like you need to have a setup, but you also need to market yourself.
Yeah.
How are you going to generate leads? How are you going to generate women into your life? You have to market yourself. So these rich guys, they literally think just because they're rich that all this pussy and all this fucking people are going to come to them because they're rich, when they don't even put themselves out there. They're not even marketing themselves.
Yeah.
They don't even spend the money. Like they just don't get it. They don't get it. You know what I mean? And like, why are athletes, why are famous athletes so successful with women? Like, have you ever met like football players or basketball players?
Yeah.
They're swimming. Okay. It's because they're on fucking TV succeeding in something. They have it going on for them. They have some shit happening for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have all the attention. They're successful and you can see it. They're on TV. They're on social media. They're being advertised constantly.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? It's like, and then you just take that and you just take away all the basketball, take away all the football, whatever, of these athletes, and just put them in their house with a shitload of bread. That's the difference between rich men and successful rich men. Is like the marketing, the art,
Right.
The I have it going on type shit, and I'm showing people, I'm advertising myself that I have it going on.
100%, dude. 100%. And talking about the money aspect of things, why did you decide to leave San Diego and come to Vegas?
Because California is going to shit.
Yeah.
And I had the nicest penthouse in San Diego, and I would walk outside and there'd be a guy taking his shit in the street and right in front of my building, and there's a guy next to him laying like dead with a needle out of his arm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm paying 13% to step in human waste when I
13%, bro.
13% taxes.
Fuck, dude.
I'm paying
ridiculous.
13% taxes plus a myriad of other fees and expenses related to business. And like, dude, everything's inflated in California. The rent is 3 times what it is in normal places.
Yeah.
It's the most expensive city to live in, which I personally don't care. I'm rich. I don't fucking care about those things. But what I was saying is it's not something that I want to invest my life into. So I was like, I need a better place to where I can invest my life.
Yeah.
And like build something rather than California, unfortunately. And I grew up there. I love San Diego and I love California, but it's like, it's being run like shit. It's got a really big homeless problem. The taxes are outrageous. Everything's outrageous. And also too, the culture is eroding. Like, dude, the amount of fucking blue-haired fucks in that area is disgusting, dude. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love people, dude. But like, if I'm ordering my fucking Starbucks and like you're like bitchy with me, and that's the culture, that sucks. I don't want to be a part of it. Like, I'm over it. Like, I have my own opinions or whatever, but it's not even that they have blue hair. It's like it's way deeper than that. It's like the whole culture around California has eroded, dude. Like, people aren't nice to each other. Like, it's just not where you want to live, in my opinion. So like, I like Vegas, like Scottsdale. I think Miami is cool. I think Miami is pretty gnarly. Like, I think that, the dating game there and like the social game there.
Oh, bro,
really
you're talking
gnarly.
about sugar daddy.
Really
shit.
gnarly.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of better places to live.
I do think, I mean, tell me if you agree with this, but I think if you're like a guy starting out, like, I'm not just talking about with women, I'm talking about just in life in general. I think Vegas is unmatched. Because think about this, right? Vegas, like, for where I am at like 24 years old, I live in Panorama Towers. That's the best apartment building on the strip.
Right.
There's no state income tax.
Yeah.
Girls here are super hot, but there's also, dude, there's no reason I should be at Bilzerian's house where I should have the network of guys like you. There's no reason for that. If I was in fucking New York, I wouldn't have that.
No.
But I think with Vegas, it gives you fucking everything. It gives you logistics. It's super cheap. There's no taxes. There's a bunch of high value rich people who use their houses as tax havens here. And there's just so much opportunity here.
There's a lot going on.
And I think guys should live in Vegas, especially if you're a young guy starting out.
Yeah, I agree. I wish I would have moved here, honestly, earlier.
Yeah.
But I think that
I was telling you,
dude, that like so many celebrities live here. All the famous DJs in the entire world live here. All the biggest clubs in the world are here.
Yeah.
All the biggest events are here. There's the Raiders are here. We're getting a baseball team, probably a basketball team. There's a hockey team. There's infinite shit to do. There's Lake Mead. You can have a boat. There's desert. You can go ATVing, mountain bike riding, fucking hiking.
You can open carry here, bro.
You can shoot people here. It's
awesome.
great. Like, you can, like, if somebody comes up into my house, best know that they're getting shot.
Yeah.
In California, if somebody comes up into your crib with a gun and you shoot them, you go to jail.
Yeah.
Even if they have a gun.
Yeah.
They have to shoot you first, or they have to attempt to shoot you first. Like, if this guy's drawing and like pointed at you and like you shoot them and you shoot him first, you're still going to have your day in court to where you got to argue that this guy was going to kill you. And like, I don't know, like, that's not the type of shit that I'm on. Like, if you come into my house in general, what are you doing here? Like, you're trying to rob me or something, like, or maybe like this ain't a college town, bro. Like, you're not just stumbling into my house drunk because you don't fucking thought it was your apartment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're coming in here to do some malicious shit.
Yeah.
So I think the laws are better here. I think the politics are a little better here than California. I think,
bro, in San Diego, I would have never parked the Rolls in like just in front of an apartment building.
No.
I would never do that.
No.
I wouldn't even take it there.
No.
So
there's so many like car thefts, robberies, all kinds of shit going on in San Diego. And in California in general, they have erased a lot of the laws. So
can't you legally rob someplace now or something?
Yeah, so I think like if it's like under $1,000 or something, you can't even go to jail. Like you can't even get prosecuted for that. It's like,
so I'm robbing
like,
the Gucci store.
well, it's like now
the Louis
everything
store,
under
everything.
$1,000 is free
Yeah.
in California. And it's like, okay, when these corporations take that loss, who do you think covers it? The taxpayers. Like, and I don't even want to get into this subject even any deeper, but like California spent, I don't even know how many billions of dollars last year on homelessness. And I lived there. I lived there for many, many years, and it only has gotten worse.
Yeah.
It's getting worse. We're spending more money. The problem's getting worse. Doesn't really equate to the right math. Like, I don't know if this is the type of math that I'm used to, right? Like when we're spending more money on this problem, it should be getting better. But what's happening is that new entities, new companies are popping up that are like homeless this, homeless that, or like some sort of fucking fancy name, and they're pocketing 90% of the money, and they're giving them some fucking clean needles, saying, here's some toilet paper, some clean needles, like go shit in the street, but make sure you wipe your ass. And like, we are paying for that as Californians, and they're not cleaning it up. They're like fucking making it a bigger problem. It's a business, dude. It's insane. So like, I cannot support that. So that's why the reason why I left.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy how many people like from California, like guys who live in LA, have these massive mountains in like Dragon Ridge that they're never at. Yeah. Just because it's a tax haven.
Yeah.
Like there's so many empty mansions in Dragon Ridge right now that no one ever is at.
We should go.
We should go.
We'll talk about it later, but like we should find some people that never use them, and we should fucking pitch. We should pitch that like we
do it all the time at like the Wish Mansion, like Peter Strelowski's place. Like, he's never there half the time.
I saw that. I saw he had his house up for rent for a while.
Yeah.
I was
like $50,000 a month.
It was 100.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not worth 100.
Nah, I don't think so. I was thinking about, I was like, this place has a bowling alley inside. I was like, Brandon, you want to live here with me? I have ragers.
Yeah.
But
that's dope, man. That's dope. So I guess it's funny. We were about to talk about this. I think we're deep enough in the podcast, bro. How about that assassination shit?
Oh my God, dude. What about it? What do you think about it?
Bro, we're an hour and a half in. This weekend conspiracy talk. We talk about everything on this podcast.
All right. I got theories.
Go ahead.
I got theories. Well, I've watched a ton of like basically interviews in the last couple of days. I saw this and I was like, at first I was like, oh, that looks like somebody like ran up on him or whatever in the, in the rally and like had a pistol or something and like tried to shoot him. But then we all found out that it was a shooter on a roof, only like 150 yards away and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, this seems too good to be true. Like, how is there a guy on a roof? And by the way, it was the only roof, like one of the only roofs with a visible sight on the podium where Trump was speaking, right? And so I was like, how does this happen? Like, this is too good to be true. So I dive into it over the last couple of days, and I watched a bunch of interviews with like people that had worked in the Secret Service, people that had like snipers that had worked in the Secret Service, snipers that have I forget their exact title, but they literally watch high value individuals, like they take care of their security as a sniper, right? And I don't even know what they're called. Like this, I don't even know what that job is called, but they like watch out for Biden. They watch out for presidents and billionaires and like very important people, right? Yeah. And what I basically figured out is that it's impossible to have somebody on a roof that close and not know about it. Yeah. Okay. So what they were saying is that literally within like a 1 mile radius, or like, I think he actually said a 1,500 foot radius of the podium, it is standard operating procedure to like no one building. Yes. Like no one can get on that. Yeah. Like you have personnel at all the entry points of that building. You have snipers on that building. Yeah. Like why there wasn't snipers on that building, that's a red flag. Like that's the only building besides the one that the actual snipers were on that there could have been a sniper. Yeah. So you're telling me you're taking the security of one of the top most hated, most influential, most powerful people in the world, and you don't have snipers, or you don't have security on a building that's 150 yards, the only building that's 150 fucking yards away from the potential president of the United States. Yeah. It's fucking impossible. Also, dude, there's literal MAGA hat wearing drunk fucking people that are pointing at this sniper for 5 minutes. in the crowd, yelling at him. A cop goes up, scales the ladder. First off, there should have been.
Well, did you hear about that report that came out today?
What is it?
The report says allegedly that the police alerted the Secret Service 20 minutes before the shots.
100%. 100%. And so what I'm saying is, right, we could dissect this all day long. The roof was too sloped. Bro, the roof. Have you seen the roof? It's like this, dude. Like, literally, my grandfather, he's 90 years old. He could have cruised on the roof. Okay. So let's not fucking play games.
Yeah.
Men are men and they can't be women. The roof was a little slanted, but my grandfather could have fucking scaled the roof. It wasn't a safety hazard. There's drunk fucking MAGA hat wearing people yelling that there's a sniper on the building for 5 minutes. So what it really was is it was a stand down.
Yeah.
It's a stand down.
Yeah.
They knew that he was there. It's an inside job. They tried to kill the fucking president.
Mm-hmm.
They knew, dude, Joe Biden's got amnesia, fucking dementia, whatever. He goes and he shits his pants during the debate. Everyone knew they were fucked. Okay, what's plan B? We can't win the election.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? And so I think that every American should be terrified that some powers that be try to kill their political opponent in broad day.
Yeah.
And then take into consideration what might happen now.
Yeah.
Now that they fucked up. And there's Iran. They're saying it's Iran. They're saying all these fucking things, bro. They're spinning the story. That's what the media does. They take this piece of content and they propagate it into 1,000 different stories and then gets everyone arguing. And what they're doing is they're just making the actual root cause. They're just making it cloudy and they're making it up to interpretation, blah, blah, blah. And that's a whole nother, animal that we can discuss. But the main problem is they tried to kill Trump. Okay. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't, this guy didn't act alone. It was a stand down. The CIA, or not the CIA, the Secret Service. You should take that 3-letter word out of this podcast. The
Secret Service?
No, the CIA.
Oh, the CIA. Yeah.
Redact that. Do not have us talking about that. But the Secret Service had to stand down and they let the guy take 5 fucking shots on the president or the potential president. Yeah. And that's it. Right. And so now the problem is, what will they do from here to the election time? And then from election to the inauguration date. And then for the next fucking 4 years, like what the hell are these people? They're obviously, they're willing to do anything. Yeah. So,
all right. So here's where I'm going to challenge you on this. So just for the podcast, I'm not like a Trump supporter at all. Like I definitely think we need somebody else. Like neither of these candidates should be running for president. Biden should not be running for president. We need something else different from Trump. The one thing where I am going to say is that I don't fully believe that if you look at just the actual data, like just look at the actual facts, right? The guy is a registered Republican. Seems like he was a Trump supporter. And it seems like...
So he donated to Act Blue. Huh? He's actually a donor of Act Blue.
I understand that, but he's also a registered Republican. And if you look at like all the interviews of his family and also the people, this kid was definitely massively bullied. Typical school shooter formula, right? So I definitely do believe that there's no way no one else knew this was going to happen. Like people were suspecting this guy was going to do some shit, like shoot up school. 100%. Now, here's where I will say, I definitely don't believe that the Secret Service I believe they were negligent, right? But they've been negligent before. They've been negligent a couple of times. They were negligent because if you flip it to
it was definitely the B team or the C team that was guarding it. That's a fact.
100%.
That's a fact.
100%.
For sure.
Like there was another
chick couldn't even get the fucking holster. She was like, fucking couldn't even holster her weapon. Like it was definitely a shitty team. That's for sure.
100%. So the one thing I will not to defend CNN, but when we were watching it, I was watching this with Michael. I thought the reason he was bleeding on his ear, I genuinely thought it's because he fell. Because they did tackle him.
Well, that's what the media said. No. Trump falls during this.
No. But CNN and Fox said that, right? Because no one was confirming. No one was going to confirm there were gunshots. I genuinely thought he got tackled, or maybe their gun grazed his head. Because that's totally possible. I definitely thought. I did not think he got shot until after the report and the Secret Service came out. So I totally agree with that. The biggest thing though is where I don't agree with a lot of people is I definitely don't think they were in on it. I think the Secret Service has been negligent because if you looked at 2020, for context, he wasn't my candidate, but like I think Joe Biden won in 2020. I don't think the full election was stolen, but there were a lot of Secret Service agents who were in on the Trump conspiracy, and they had to change Biden's entire security team. So I definitely think the Secret Service was negligent. I don't fully believe, because it's too risky, right? It's like, okay, the fact that like the odds of that shot happening, it's like 50-50. You may or may not, especially if he was seen by those people, because you're kind of seeing it now. It's right. It's like you shoot him, you killed him. I think that whoever replaces him definitely wins, right? Like the conspiracy is going to go either way. You shoot him and you miss him, he is definitely going to win now. I don't see the incentive with that. That's the only thing. Like I definitely see as like, if you kill him, they're going to spin this as a conspiracy. You're going to lose. And also Joe Biden's down. He's gone. Yeah. He's not serving out another term.
He poops his pants.
100%. So that's not going to happen. But also you fucking miss. And there's always a chance you're going to miss. And he fucking missed. Now it's over. Right? There's nothing you can do. That's the only thing I really have to say on it. But I definitely think the Secret Service is fucking negligent, bro.
For sure. But I think it was also like, the whole thing was set up for failure, which, has to raise some suspicions. It's like when you look at the map from the top, there's literally one building you have to cover.
Like they're in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
One building, dude. Yeah. And so for a gross oversight like that, and then for you to make up all these excuses why you didn't have personnel on the only rooftop where there could be a sniper.
Yeah.
It's not just gross incompetence. It's like now you're lying to try to cover up something.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, yes, it was a gross incompetence, but I think it was set up for failure.
But do you think this guy acted like he was put up there? Do you think he acted alone?
Absolutely not. I don't think that anything in history is some person just acting alone. Fucking that's everything is just, up to chance. I think I think things I have been a part of a lot of business, a lot of negotiations, a lot of strategy. And for this entire thing, for like every single one of these failures to happen, to like for this guy to be able to shoot the potential president, it is so far, like so many things have to go wrong that it's like almost too good to be true, if that makes sense. It's like like it's too good to be true. And like when things are too good to be true, it's like they were probably meant to happen. You know what I mean? It's like you are a 1 out of 10 guy, and this chick who's a 10 out of 10 approaches you in the club and like takes you home. Bro, she's a fucking whore.
Prostitute.
Yes.
Yes.
So like,
hey guys, if you guys are watching, if a 10 out of 10 approaches you
and she's super interested in you and you are a loser,
it is too good to be true.
It might be. It might be. You might just be a stud. And that's not, that's why I was saying the scenario is like, you're a 1 out of 10, like fat slob.
Yeah.
And like you have a Rolex on.
Yeah.
And you have like a $100,000 Rolex on, and like and
the prostitute is definitely approaching you.
Yeah, that she's approaching you and she's gaming you up. She's calling you fucking Poppy and all these things. And like she's like, let's go back to my place. You can probably bet.
Oh, bro, she says Poppy. Yeah.
She's rubbing your leg like, brother.
It's too good to be true. If you think it's too good to be true, probably is.
Yeah, probably. And so, I think things will continue to play out. Like, if there's another assassination attempt, that's just like a proof of that. Like, obviously,
if there's another assassination, if they let another assassination attempt,
okay, happen. And also too, if Trump dies, if he just dies, let's just say it doesn't even matter the cause, because the headlines.
You mean before or after the election?
In general, in the next in the next 1 year, just say if Trump dies and they're like cause of death, like if he dies, it's like you could pretty much just count it to assassination. You know what I mean? Like if this guy croaks and someone already tried to shoot him, we can kind of just be like, okay, like the first one was probably not just up to chance, And I don't ever think that anything's just up to chance.
Yeah.
That it's just random. And like whatever you see on the mainstream media, what you must understand, no matter if it's Fox, CNN, MSNBC, does not matter. If you see anything from these media outlets, you have to understand where it's coming from. You are watching state-funded and run media. You are watching a propagation system. They are spinning all these stories to make you believe a certain way, right? And so who funds them? Who like look into like, why does this business exist? Okay, it exists to like get clicks and like make all this money. And who funds them? BlackRock, all the biggest investment firms in the entire world. You think that, you know, a certain candidacy is better or worse for BlackRock? Yes, they definitely want one candidate. Okay, that means that they're giving money for you to say stuff. They're spinning stories a certain way. It's a propagation machine. And on social media as well, right? It's not, you can't evade this anymore in today's society. Like, there are people that are saying stuff because they are paid to say it in some regard, right?
Indirectly,
indirectly, directly, whatever it is. And so you can't believe, one thing that I have learned my entire life is you must take everything with a grain of salt. Even what I'm saying, it's not 100% right. What you're saying, not 100% right. What anyone's saying is not 100% right.
Sure.
Someone probably knows someone, and we probably won't know who that is because they're probably behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
But
or when we do, they'll be dead.
When there's one of the biggest elections coming up in modern history, and the president, like someone tries to shoot the president, it's not up to chance. Like, it's not a lone assailant. Like, it's a whole plan. And like why do you think that this guy has this backstory of being like the way he is, bullied? It's because it's a perfect story. It's a perfect story to spin. Like, these people, if you read The Art of War, you have to win the battle before you even fight. So it's a stand down, whether my theory is right or not, could be totally wrong. Whether it's a stand down, blah, blah, blah. It was all, in my opinion, orchestrated from the beginning. They had all these. Do you see how fast the headlines were coming out? That like Trump falls, like Trump, blah, 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 thing interrupted. It's like, no, he got shot in the fucking ear. Like, you know what I mean? And so there's all these headlines like already spinning the story from day one. Like, so I think that it was planned. And I think that if Trump hadn't moved his head like this to look, he would have been dead. And, you know, however you make of it, either way, he was supposed to die, and another plan was supposed to unfold, whether that's another candidate, whether that's whatever.
Bro,
but with him wiped out, like, there would have been a power vacuum, and someone would have fucking raised the flag and been ready, you know? And so
100%.
I think that the opposing people of Trump, they hate him so bad that they're like literally willing to kill him. In order to win, or in order to like not have him, you know, run.
Yeah, dude, I completely agree with that. The thing is also, it's such an interesting thing. Think about it if you're like opposing Trump, right?
Yeah.
The guys who are opposing Trump don't want Trump in, but we all fucking know the Democrats don't want Biden in either.
No.
Biden just stayed. And what are you gonna do? Primary the president? No.
Well,
so it's like they have to deal with two people.
They could assassinate Biden. And that's a possibility. You can't take these off the table. They could poison him. They could say anything. Like, we can get into serious like tinfoil hat shit here.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to. But what I'm saying is like, dude, would you be surprised if Biden died? Like,
no,
you'd be like, oh, he's so old, and like all these things, and they could poison him. Or they could do something. They could push him down the stairs. He could hit his head. Yeah. And they could just say it was natural. They could say he hung himself, natural causes, whatever.
I think another thing was like, they probably thought like, okay, look, Joe Biden, vice president, he won the election. I think in everyone's mind, they were like, bro, he ain't going to run again. Like, he's not stupid. Like, he's not going to try to run again. You know, sit your term out, let someone else get, bro, because like all of this shit would be like, none of this would ever be a problem. Like, believe it or not, like, if you literally just had somebody else replace Biden,
well, but
it wouldn't be a close race.
Well, it's an easy play. All you do is you put Michelle Obama in there, and she
I don't
wins.
think so.
She wins for sure.
You think so?
She has a way better chance than fucking Sleepy Joe.
No. Agreed. But like,
and
I don't think she would win because she's not a politician.
She's a woman and she's a minority.
Sure.
And Barack was already the president, which means that if you voted for Obama, you probably have, and you hate Trump. Like, there's a lot of reasons why Michelle Obama would win. Because she has a lot of things going for her in the political landscape. Plus, she has Barack, that was a former president, advising her, blah, blah, blah. And people hate Trump so bad that they're like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? So I think that she would actually have a pretty decent shot of winning.
Yeah.
And so if Sleepy Joe goes away and they put her in there, like, I think that she has maybe a 50-50 shot of winning, in my opinion. Like, I don't even know.
So just to be clear, you wouldn't vote for Gavin Newsom?
No. I would rather die. I would rather die.
Yeah, dude. He is like legitimately one of the worst governors in the fucking United States.
Dude, we can go for days.
Even wait,
him, dude.
He's not even popular in California.
No.
Like among Democrats. He's not popular, is he?
Everyone tried to recall him, actually.
Yeah.
There was a recall, and like we got millions of people that tried to recall him, and like I don't know, like I don't know how all this shit fucking works, but like I voted to recall him for sure. And like I think he got like 3 million votes to I don't know the exact numbers, but I think it was like 3 million votes to recall him.
Yeah.
And he's not popular in Cal. Nobody likes him. I mean, maybe some people, but I think the majority do not like him.
Agreed.
He was the only one in California when there was a shutdown. He was the only business. His winery was the only business that was allowed to be open, basically.
Mm-hmm.
He kept his winery open, and he shut down all the other wineries.
That's fucking crazy.
Well, that's just power, dude. And that's why President Biden won't step down, because power is power. You know, it's enticing. Yeah. It's addicting. Like, you're telling me that like his family doesn't want him to run again? Like, they have so much power right now. They could probably do whatever they want. They're probably negotiating all kinds of deals, whatever. Mm-hmm. And let's just say legally, maybe illegal. I don't know, but I'm just saying with that power, they can do shit. And so 100%. They're obviously like, yeah, like definitely run, you know? And like, there's no way that specific family wants to give that up.
Yeah.
You know, no one wants to give up power.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking crazy. It's like, we all know like Obama does not want this dude to run. Half the Democrats don't want this dude to run. Like, everybody knows he's going down.
Trump will win in a landslide.
Yeah.
Which that's why you saw the we can shift topics really quick. But that's why though I think that whole thing was planned, because you saw the whole nation kind of like switch on Joe after the debate.
Yeah.
And that's when everybody knew that Joe was going to lose.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows. Like, you saw that debate, like, oh my God, he's reading off a teleprompter, and he's just like, he's just bad, you know? Like, so dude. Everyone like switched on Joe and like, fuck Joe. And so that, I think, kind of toppled the rest of the plan, where it's like, we have to do something or else we're fucked. And so that's basically my take on it.
Dude, I totally agree with you, bro. I guess like to switch back to like what we're talking about. I know we went down the tinfoil route a little bit.
You have to.
Yeah, but like back to the stuff we were talking about. Like something you wanted to talk about was, you know, I think with guys, right, we're dealt like different cards, right? Like, some of us have good cards, some have good cards and bad cards, some have great cards. But you know, we'll dealt some cards and we got what we got. Mm-hmm. So you want to talk about like the 6-6 rule and how to compensate in various areas. Talk more about that.
Well, first off, I'm part of the 666 club.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what that is, 6 feet tall, 6-inch wiener, and make over 6 figures.
Yeah.
So I obviously feel all those buckets, which is why I'm successful. But if you're not me, but if you can't, you know, that's a kind of a arbitrary metric that, you know, is on social media.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to that, honestly. Like, there's not like, even if you like check all those boxes, you still might have a hard time, right?
Yeah.
But let's just say that you're like, you're very short, you know, you make no money, and you have a tiny wiener, which would be terrible. However, dude, you can go to the gym, you can overcompensate in certain areas. You can get super rich, you can go to the gym, get absolutely jacked and sauced, and you can be funny.
Yeah.
You can be you can have shit going for you.
Yeah.
Like, there's tons of men out there that are, you know, famous with tiny wieners, and they just clean up. You know what I mean? Like, I guarantee it. So like, there's many different ways that you can overcompensate. So if you can't fully check one box, there's other tools in your arsenal that you could use. You know, and
there's a lot of tools.
There's a lot of tools.
Yeah,
and so you can't get hung up on your shortcomings, because everyone has a shortcoming. There's not one single man out there that is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and there's just like, there's these guys that are 6'5", they make a bunch of money, and they are tools.
Yeah.
Like, and they're creeps, and like, girls don't like them. That exists. Like,
yeah.
There's even like short kings. There's even tall guys out there that women don't like. Like, bro, that is a fact.
You know, a lot of people think Bilzerian's like 6'3". He's not.
He's like 6'5". He's 6'3" because he has this shit going for him. You know what I mean?
All
like,
that stuff. Yeah.
Dude. And so like, they automatically.
He's like 5'8".
I don't know his exact height, but
Yeah.
he's not tall. Like he's not like fucking towering over people.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of reject your shortcomings and you have to overcompensate with certain things. And it all goes back to it's an art as well as a science.
Yeah.
So if you have charisma, you know how to market yourself, you are in shape, you have, shit going for you. Yeah, maybe, when you first meet like a chick or you first meet people, they're like, they see your shortcomings, but then once they actually know you and understand you, it all goes out the window.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think the main thing for guys to do is not only fill out all these boxes, but like, dude, become friends with people.
Yeah.
Like it's that simple. Like if you want to, date beautiful women, hang out with people that hang out with beautiful women and you will date one of them.
Yeah.
If you have some stuff going for you.
Right.
And they're like, they don't look at you like this guy that's like just tagging along like a fucking weirdo. Like you have to have that social proof where you are friends with these people. So like there's ways around this, dude. You could be like literally fucking like 4'9", probably not, maybe. You could literally be a midget and you have high status friends that hang out with beautiful women and you will probably date one of those beautiful women
100%.
just because you are surrounded by them constantly.
Yeah.
One of them will date you.
Yeah.
And so there's ways around it. So instead of looking at your shortcomings, overcompensate in certain areas and just fucking hang out with people that you want to be around and want to be like, and like become one of them and use that social proof as leverage. And don't go hang out with people that are like losers.
Yeah.
Go fucking find some people that you want to be like and become one of them.
Yeah. I don't think people understand how much environment, like just being
Totally
around
matters.
people who are better than you, be around people who are better than you
Sure.
will just make you better.
For sure.
Yeah.
The number one way to date beautiful women is be around beautiful women. How do you be around beautiful women? Become friends with them. How do you become friends with them? You meet through a mutual friend. Simple as that.
Like if you want to erase all your flaws,
Yeah.
have a hot girl introduce you to a hot girl.
Sure.
It erases everything.
100%.
Almost is better than money.
100%.
Yeah.
But you have to be friends with that hot girl.
Of course.
And she needs to big you up to her friend.
Yeah.
And like, dude, there's nothing. Have you ever like, for me, right?
So, bro, all you have to do is like, don't fucking like raise your like voice inflection. Like just be normal.
Be normal.
Just be like somewhat charismatic and you're ahead of every guy.
Dude,
It's crazy.
It's not as hard as people make it out to be, but some people have a harder time because of certain things with things that they tell themselves. They might be introverted. There's tons of fucking
excuse, bro.
There's tons of different things, though, right? And so like there's all these different shortcomings, excuses, however you want to label them, right? And it's all about like, what do you want? What is it that you want?
Yeah.
Plan how to get it and take action on that plan and have persistence, which recognizes no such thing as failure for however long it fucking takes, and you will get that plan. You want to fucking meet hot women, become friends with hot women, or become friends with people that are friends with hot women. Hang out with them. Be funny. Like be you. Like be him.
Yeah.
And it will happen for you. You know?
Yeah, dude. And honestly, like get uncomfortable, right? Like
For sure.
you doing what's comfortable is what has gotten you what you've got.
For sure.
And it ain't much.
It's
Dude,
easy.
You know what's my
Comfort
favorite?
is easy.
Yo, but you know what's a pet peeve of mine? I meet guys and they're like, yeah, dude, like I don't want to post on social media. It's not authentic. It doesn't feel right. I'm like,
sure, but
that's the gayest shit I've ever heard.
yeah, sure, dude. Like
I don't want to go to nightclubs. I don't want to talk to girls. I'm introverted.
I'm introverted, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. We're introverted.
For sure.
So
It's like, it's an excuse, dude. It's like, and here's the thing about social media that a lot of people don't talk about. It's like, dude, no one's going to see your fucking shit. No one's going to see your video, dude. Like you're
not
so
that important.
No, you're not cool. You get no views. No one's going to see it. Maybe
like, we're not that important.
No, like, dude, no one is going to see your content. Like, stop being such a narcissist and thinking that you're so important. No one gives a shit about your content until you actually are good enough. And by the time you're good enough and people see your Instagram, see your content, it will be good. But you must start from it. It's going to suck in the beginning. Like my first videos that I made on all of my social channels and my first like pictures that I post, I deleted because they're so bad. They were terrible. Like they were the gayest shit I've ever seen. Like I was embarrassed. Like I had to go through all my old stuff and I'm like, dude, you're so fucking gay. Like, you're an idiot, blah, blah, blah. And I went through all of it, right? But guess what? It takes you falling on your face and like producing content that you might not love for you to fucking get that feedback that you need and get better at it. You know, so for all the guys out there that are scared about posting content, yeah, everyone's scared about posting content. No one's gonna see it, dude. No one gives a shit about you. You have 300 followers. Like, you're not gonna go viral because you post a picture of yourself. Like, no one, like 5 people are gonna see it.
Yeah.
And they might be, you know, part of your family. Who cares? Like, who cares if your family sees it? My family has seen all my shit, and like now they're asking me questions. Like, first they were hating. That's the whole arc, right? First they hate you, or first they laugh at you, and they're like, you are a loser. Then they hate you, and they're hating on you because you're doing well and you've actually figured it out, and then they love you. And so that's just kind of how the arc really goes. And so all these guys that are just starting out, dude, people are gonna make fun of you when you post your shit. Get over it. Like, would you rather them make fun of you, but you're like doing something with your life, and you know as a man that you are taking action, which feels good, versus not posting, feeling the same way that you're feeling now because of the fear that your aunt might see the fucking picture that you posted on Instagram and might bring it up at a family gathering and say, blah, blah, blah. Didn't you have a girlfriend yet? Like, that is the difference. Like, who gives a shit? 5 people are going to see it. Right. Or, and so you can just not post and just like live in your little shell and like keep getting the same shit that you're already getting. Or you can come out of your shell, post that piece of content. It's going to suck. You're going to get made fun of it, but you're going to grow as a human being. And you're going to actually take the first step of going somewhere.
Dude, and look, even if you get negative criticism, even if it's not from family member, even if it's from like the girl of your dream or the people that you want to connect with, they weren't noticing you beforehand.
100%.
At least they fucking notice you now.
100%.
That's way better. Like, I'd rather be like, it's better to be noticed and maybe it's not as positive versus to not have any presence.
Right.
Because then you're going to get nothing.
Right. It's all about marketing. And like, guess what? All that feedback that you get is right.
Yeah.
It's right. You are the problem. You are the problem and you are the solution. So you need to get that feedback. That's part of the process is failure. You need to get that feedback, make a better plan. How do I make better content? How do I get more views and have people actually like it? Right.
Yeah.
And if that, guess what? You just brought up a good point. Like, if the girl of your dreams like hating on it, guess what? She was going to figure out that you're a pussy. Yeah. No matter what. So like, if you would have somehow dated her, she would have been like, oh, this guy's a pussy. Cause she would have been hanging out with you instead of seeing your life through Instagram. Right. Yeah. So you're fucked either way. So you must grow as a man. Like, there's no other point. Like, there's no other next step. It's like growth. Yeah. And so like not posting is dying. Posting is like growing and getting feedback and improving.
Yeah. And dude, and another thing is that I think like, especially with men, the world, like everything that you should be doing, the world is literally telling you the opposite.
Like what?
Like everything, bro. It's like, all right, I go to the whole list, right? Be a nice guy. Don't post on social media. Eat whatever you want. Don't go to the fucking gym.
Yeah.
Like be more feminine.
Be more feminine. Yeah.
Be more feminine.
Yeah.
And like, it's literally everything that society is telling you to do is what's making you broke. It's making you a lot less attractive.
Yeah.
And it's screwing you in the end.
Yeah.
Oh, porn is healthy. OnlyFans is healthy.
Yeah.
Like, bro, are you fucking kidding me, bro?
Not healthy.
That's another thing, you know, put our tinfoil hats back on. This is a conspiracy I'm 100% on board with. Have you ever seen what TikTok is like in China?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like education.
It's education, science, math.
I have.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go much more deep into the whole TikTok thing. But I think my full opinion on it is I think TikTok is actually a pretty good company.
Yeah.
I think that they're very innovative. They actually steal a lot, but they're very innovative as well.
Sure.
And I think that they're a good platform. They've given a lot of people ways to make money. A lot of people a new channel, a new outlet from Meta per se.
Yeah.
But I also think that, so being the devil's advocate on your shit is like, yeah, in China, they make the algorithm favor math and science and education and blah, blah, blah. Right.
Yeah.
But that's how China is.
Yeah.
That's how China is run. Right. And so the government of China would not allow the certain, the way that the algorithm is here, China would not allow it legally. So the Chinese government is fully in control of TikTok over there. Now in the US, TikTok just wants to make the most money.
Yeah.
What gets the most views, right? And so they have programmed their algorithm differently here because they're just trying to get the most views and they're just trying to make the most money and get the most eyeballs.
Yeah.
And they have no regulation on what type of content that is. They just make their algorithm like favored to whatever the people like the most. So yeah, we could say that, TikTok could do that here, but guess what? Everyone would just go use Instagram or YouTube because they're going to go get that dopamine hit of that stupid content, whatever it is, that mindless content. They're going to go get it somewhere else because that's the culture that we have. That's the culture that we have. We have a consumer culture.
Yeah. And consumer culture is not incentivized to make you a better man.
No, it's incentivized for you to get a job and then consume as much stuff as humanly possible. Food, pornography, entertainment, products and goods, services, and be a good consumer because everybody else that's outside of the matrix is profiting off the consumer. Do you think that I want more consumers or less consumers on my business? More. So what incentive do I have from a business standpoint to create people that are not consumers, that go start their own businesses? I have that from a moral standpoint. I have a moral obligation to do that, but I have no business incentive to do that.
No.
So why would TikTok be any different? They wouldn't. They're just going to go for how much money they can make and how much eyeballs, what gets the most eyeballs, they're going to push that content.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Like the way it is, like, bro, if you are just like, when I see like TikTok now specifically, I'm bagging on TikTok, but I'm pretty much talking about Meta and all of these guys. Everything except X. X is great. X is awesome now.
Definitely uncensored.
Uncensored for sure.
If you want some Trump conspiracy theories,
go on there. Go on there.
Go watch Alex Jones.
Go watch Alex Jones.
Dude.
Oh, I'm already demonetized for just saying that. But
no, dude, he's on YouTube. Like people post his shit on YouTube. They might not be monetized, but they're like letting. I think they're kind of.
I think
opening it up a little
YouTube
bit.
Like censored a lot. Now that Rumble's kind of coming up, they're like just dialing
having
back
to
slowly.
I think also too they're realizing again, what does the consumer want? What's the kind of the trend? Yeah, the trend is a little bit less censorship. The trend was in like 2016. It was like censor a lot of shit. It's like that's where it's going. Censor. Yeah. And like now it's more like if you censor, we're going to lead to these other platforms and like everyone's like fuck censoring. Yeah. It's opening it up just a little bit. Alex Jones still doesn't have a channel on YouTube. But and neither does Andrew Tate. Justin Waller got his YouTube channel,
which is fucking ridiculous.
That's gnarly. Well, it's he's hanging out with fucking Tate and posting his content.
Yeah, so many other people.
Steve will do it.
Yeah,
Steve will do it. His face was not allowed on YouTube in the whole YouTube. It's crazy. Like if you had a video with Steve will do its face in and he was in your video be taken down. Yeah. Insane. So that's why though. I think that's why Waller's channel
got like clipped. I swear to God, like, do you want to know how to get like the algorithm to hate you? Like literally like promote being a straight male and promote masculinity. Just do that. And then you will get no fucking views. Yeah. They will like try to ban you.
You'll be throttled.
100%.
You'll be throttled. I think Andy Frisella, he does a lot of like he has a lot of really good takes and he has a lot of really good content. Yeah. And he doesn't really censor himself much. And like he should be much bigger on YouTube than he actually is. And this is not.
He's pretty big, no, right?
He's pretty big, dude. But like, I think he's just getting throttled because they don't really want to push his content as much. But it's a conspiracy at this point. We don't know 100%. But what we do know is that and I've been behind the scenes on a lot of these different social media channels. Yeah. And dude, they will look at your account and they'll put you on the list that's like, don't let this account basically go viral. So they'll basically throttle you. So they like, let's just say that you've been posting and you get 2 million views per video, right? And they don't like you. They'll put you on the list, which is basically the suppression list, which is like, it just limits you in the algorithm. So you can't get that reach that you need. And you'll be getting, instead of 1 million, 2 million views, you get 50,000.
Yeah, dude, Sartain was talking to me about this the other day. It's like
it's a real thing.
Yeah. So when we look at his YouTube shorts and his YouTube engagement and also his Instagram engagement, then compared to his TikTok engagement, he oftentimes gets as many views per post as like Alex Hormozi. Alex Hormozi should be destroying him like 100x. But I honestly think it's because like, bro, they're straight men promoting masculinity and leadership and teaching men how to be better. That is not the incentive of the
Yeah.
consumer society right now.
Right. Right. And I think, well, this is kind of a cookie for anybody, but I think that's the way around that is just you need to have like literally fucking 50 accounts or 100 accounts. You just need to be pumping your content everywhere.
Yeah.
So they can't stop you. That's what Tate did. Tate he didn't even have a TikTok. He did not have a TikTok, and he probably got 10 billion views on TikTok. He didn't even have an account.
Yeah.
That's one way to break the algorithm. It's like literally have just a bunch of affiliates and just have them just swarming these platforms and make good content. And if you do that, it's like it's kind of hard to stop you, you know, unless they like put an AI in that like tracks your exact face and stuff and your voice and all that stuff.
No,
and
I think they've already started doing
that.
They
probably have.
Yeah.
But that's one way to get around it in theory.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Dude, talk to me about, I know you were at Ty Lopez's place. How was that?
It was sick. It was really cool. I've been following Ty Lopez for a long time, actually. I was 2014 or 2015. I bought his 67 steps, I think.
Same.
So I bought that like a long time ago and used that to kind of, that really helped me in my business journey, like getting started, I would say. You know, it's like, those are the kind of foundational things that you need to know when you're starting, all those principles.
Yeah.
It's good to have when you're moving forward. And it's like, so I think Ty Lopez gave me a great foundation. And so it was cool going back there. And he like also like, he was really big on the e-commerce side of things. And I'm in e-commerce. And so he kind of like pushed me in that direction through his content. And so it was really cool going back there and being able to meet him after all this time and him learning about how much, you know, revenue we're doing in our business and kind of dissecting my business. It was a cool experience because like I literally started from zero, a negative, you know, and that's one thing that a lot of people don't know about me is like, they might think that, well, I'm not that, you know, I'm not famous. I'm not that huge, but like, if you've seen my numbers, you might think that I got, you know, funded by an investor or like blah, blah, blah. And like,
that's what I thought.
That's
when
not
you told me about it.
That's not true. Like literally me and my business partner bootstrapped $750, $650 each, roughly, into this business. We started with like $1,300, and you know we went broke so many different times, and then we actually used an American Express credit card when we had no other options. We were $300,000 in debt to basically turn that into what we have now. And so it was cool, basically going to him with that. He's like, "You guys have no debt? He's like, you have no investors? You guys own this whole thing?" We're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Damn. You guys are doing fucking big numbers for that. That's insane." And so it was cool. It was like validation in some way that like we actually achieved, you know, something cool. It was like Ty Lopez was like, damn, he was impressed.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool. Also met a lot of heavy hitters there. Waller was there. He said that his YouTube got yanked. And I was like, damn, that's fucked. Like I wouldn't expect his YouTube to fucking.
Yeah. He got yanked a while ago.
Yeah. So I didn't know that.
Who else was there? It was like, I think Greg Gallagher was there. Mike was there.
Yep.
Yeah. A bunch of those guys were there.
I didn't meet Greg. I know that he's big on the fitness side of things, but I didn't meet him. I think Dan Fleischman was there.
Oh shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a big dog. And then Mike always big ups this one guy, dude, from Social Dynamics or some shit. What is it called?
Owen.
It was
Owen. Yeah.
I never like was in on that, whatever he was doing, but apparently that guy's a fucking OG in the space.
If you know pickup, he's like OG, like
okay.
He's like a godfather in that
Got
space.
it.
Yeah.
Got it. So yeah, he was there. There was also some people that you wouldn't really expect that were there. Like there were some billionaires there that you would never know.
Yeah.
And one's wife was actually sitting right next to me, and like Ty was talking about her husband, and he didn't even know that she was there. And then he like looked over and he's like, "Oh shit, so and so." You know. But it was crazy because like, dude, sometimes you like look at a person and be like, "Who's that person?" They're a billionaire, you know. And so it was a cool experience. Definitely going to be doing some more things with Ty. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So what was it, like a mastermind event of his or something?
Yeah. Basically, I DM'd him and like told him like I tried to actually get on his podcast, and he's like, "Cool, like send me your numbers and stuff, like so that I know you're legit." And like I sent him the numbers, and he's like put me in a WhatsApp group, and he's like, "Let's have a call." And so like we had a call, and he's like, "Holy shit, like you guys are fucking, you know, killing it or whatever. How's your business set up? How's all these different things?" And he was like poking holes basically in our business structure and like all these things because he's a business guy.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "All right,
you're not gonna fool him."
Right.
Yeah.
And so like he's like, all right, you guys are killing it, but like you could benefit from what I got going on. So like come out, just join me I'm having a party at my house.
Yeah.
And so we just cruised out to LA. And
dude, that's the thing about like how we'll cut that out. That's the thing about like how important networking is, right? It's like those conversations, like most of the time you're not buying your way into that shit. You got to be invited to that stuff, but that's where the real knowledge is going to be.
We got invited because A, I have a successful business that I showed him.
Yeah.
And B, I have an Instagram that has views and it has followers and it has engagement. So he like looked at me and he's like, okay, this person.
If you had 0 fucking posts and like you had your gamer tag as your handle, he's not going to respond to you.
No, absolutely not. Like I have, enough followers. I have a shitload of posts. I have engagement. I have social proof. Like that I'm doing shit on my Instagram, and I like, and that's the only reason why it worked. You know what I mean? If I didn't have all these things, then I wouldn't have been invited. And so he invited us out there, and he was having a party, and he fucking provided mad value, and I'm probably going to be working with him, doing some shit on the business side. So
that's dope.
Yeah, it's like that's the thing about Instagram. That's why I was saying earlier. It's like, dude, it's a networking tool. Like if I didn't have those things, I wouldn't have met Ty Lopez. Like, and let's just say that he helps me make an extra few $100 million because he connects me with this guy, or like we set up the business a certain way here, or like blah, blah, blah. Right. Just me having my Instagram built out made me $200 million extra that I didn't know about when I started my fucking Instagram push. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not selling a course. So like that's like the back end side of like,
like people don't even know the opportunities that they're missing out. They don't know what they don't know at that point, right? I was actually going to ask you this. We never talked about it. How did you get in touch with Bulzarian?
Yeah, so actually through my content, one of his really good friends DM'd me and was like,
John? Maxim?
No, boy, I can't say his name.
Okay,
he wants to basically remain anonymous, but
yeah,
he's a really cool guy, and pretty well known as well. Super successful guy. And he like basically just like was commenting on liking some of my shit because I was just putting out like banger videos. And he DM'd me and he's like, yo, dude, like blah, blah, like love your shit. Like I don't remember I could probably pull it up. I don't remember the exact verbiage, but it was like basically let's get on a call. And then like I was like, okay, cool. Like what can go wrong? And put me on the call and he was just like bigging me up, saying that he liked my shit. And then he was basically saying that like basically like I want you to meet my boy Dan. And like Dan's doing some things, and like we think that you might be able to provide some value like to Dan. And like then I fucking sent him and Dan basically a screenshot of the numbers that I was doing in my business, and they were like, damn, like that's respect. Like fucking fly out to like Dan's house and let's fucking chop it up. And that's it. Like literally through Instagram, like through an Instagram, through me posting content, through DM to me flying out, meeting the guy.
Yeah.
And like now we're like fucking we hang out sometimes, go to the gym. Like fucking go paintballing and shit, like, and so all of that, and who knows, like I also met a bunch of different, like Steve Aoki was over there fucking paintballing, and like so there was like a bunch of like heavy hitters that are there, and like more networking, and so I also was connected from Dan and his boy, another guy that's now working with me in my business that has literally saved me tons of fucking, headaches on the compliance side of things, on the supply chain side of things. And so that's another indirect ROI. It's like I've literally met other people that now work with me in my business that have like, if I didn't have them in my business, we'd be fucked, So there's so much just indirect impact. It's not like you need to monetize this thing, in the beginning. It's not a monetization tool for everyone. Like, it's the
knowledge and connections are so much more powerful than the money.
It is a networking tool. Like that's why you make content, even if you don't have a course. Like talk about shit that and people that like the content that you put out, that consume your content. If you do well enough, you'll be connected with the right people automatically.
Yeah,
like it will all work out for you. You know what I mean? Like, and you might not be connected with them immediately, but this guy or this girl knows this person, and that person knows this person. And then soon enough, you fucking meet Elon. Like, and Elon knows all these people. Yeah. And it just like through the grapevine, like no joke. You start hanging out with people. They're like, this guy's cool. Fucking this guy, makes money. Like this guy's a cool guy. Like I want to introduce him to my other buddy. Yeah. And this guy's rich, and like he might fucking, and he knows somebody else. And so It's a fucking networking tool, man. And it's like literally the most scalable networking tool that's ever existed. Like you could potentially reach anyone in the entire world with your content, and that one person will change your fucking life.
Yeah.
Like that one person, like literally could see your video, send it to the right person. Yeah. They're like, holy shit, we need to fucking hit up this guy.
Yeah.
You get hit up and your life changes, man.
Yeah. Here's the other misconception a lot of people have. Like just to be objective, right? You're not that famous.
No.
You don't have that big of a following.
I'm not famous at all.
Yeah. You don't have a huge YouTube channel or something. It's just like, you just put enough out there. The right person
Just
saw
enough.
it. You don't need a big following. You just need the right people to see what you're
right
doing
people.
out there.
Just the right people. No joke.
That's
you don't
it.
even have to like go viral. Like I had a few videos that got like 5 million views, and like trust me, that really fucking helped. But I bet you if I got less views, I still would have gotten the same result. You know, it's not, you don't have to go huge.
Yeah.
You just have to put out content, and you do have to market yourself. You have to get views.
100%. 100%. And you know, a couple things I wanted to also cover, man. I know you obviously believe like obviously making money, the business comes first, but I know you take your health and your wellness super seriously, especially now. So a question for you, like how do you actually balance and manage all of those things?
Yeah, I think as an entrepreneur, it's easy to get out of balance with different things in your life, whether it's, you know, you're so focused on making the money that your health tanks or that like your relationship tanks. And like, look, you can't be a jack of all trades. Like there's been times in my life where I'm like so fucking focused on the business that I like at my social life tanks, but then I'm like, okay, need to reel that back in a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, like when I was first building my business, like for the first few years, my health was terrible. Like I was eating Chick-fil-A and like In-N-Out and like smoking and drinking and like, because dude, I was fucking failing. Like, you know, I was like, I was so like trying so hard and like failing so bad that I was like trying to like, I would like wake up and I would like work all day with no return at all. And like by that time I'm like broke. I'm like, what can I have no money. What can I afford? I'm like, In-N-Out is like $9. I go get In-N-Out, like, you know, and I lived very unhealthy when I was, you know, in my earlier entrepreneurial journey. Right. And I would not recommend that because again, like if you can't control, you know, your routine and your discipline and like what you put in your mouth, it directly affects everything else. And so now my routine is a lot different. I usually try to exercise or do something physical at least twice a day. And like, that might be too much for a lot of people, but if you lift weights, I have found if you lift weights, you know, every single day or do something physical every single day, I don't know what it is, but your mind operates differently. You are more productive, actually, rather than you're like, okay, I'm wasting time lifting weights every day. I could be working.
Yeah.
Wrong. Like, even though it does make sense from like a time perspective, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Because if you don't put in that time in the weight room or doing something physical, you actually get less output in your business.
Yeah.
Right. And so my daily routine now is like, I stay up pretty late. Sometimes I stay up till like 1 or 2, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Because I'm like doing business or catching up on shit. And so I usually wake up around 8 or 9, go straight to, I drink one of these. So I drink water in the morning and then I drink, quad espresso and a quad espresso.
Crazy
and then I follow that up with 2 or 3 Celsius throughout the day, which is not the most healthy of things, but like I find that I'm very productive when I'm caffeinated, and that's just me. And I know that it's not like I should probably do less caffeine, but I don't eat until about 1 or 2 p.m. And
fast.
So, yeah, I usually fast in the morning. And like, that's what I have found that makes me very, very productive because I'm not like digesting a bunch of food.
Yeah.
I'm like very caffeinated. I also take nicotine gum. And so like in the morning, like 9 a.m. or so, I'm getting to work. I don't shower. Like I just get straight to it. Like I look at my goals. I read my entire, statement of what I'm trying to achieve. And then I literally get straight.
You do that every morning.
Every morning. And then I get into productive work. Unless there's some sort of fire that I need to put out. Like if there's some sort of business critical shit, then I take care of it immediately. But I usually try to get in like 1 or 2 hours, like until about lunchtime, of straight solid production on the goal that I'm going towards, right? Unless, again, there's some sort of business critical shit, which honestly happens more than I would like. Is like some fucking things going wrong. There's like some fire that I have to put out, and I'll put it out. And then I know that my production is pretty limited.
Yeah.
And then around 12, I start taking meetings until 3 or 4. And so I don't like to pack my meetings in every single day, but I usually have to I have a team that I run. I have suppliers, I have lawyers, I have lots of people, accountants, I have lots of people, consultants, you can name them. I could keep going, but like I have lots of people, hundreds of people that I deal with, not necessarily that work in my business, but that like work on my company.
Yeah.
That I have to deal with every single week. And so 12 to like 3 or so on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes even Thursday, I have calls. And those are like, what do we need to fix? Like, what are we doing? What are the goals? Like, what support do you need from me? You know, just production with regards to the team. So I take the first few hours of my day and that's straight. I don't talk to anybody. I'm not fucking with you. I am working on what I need to accomplish for hours. And I find that those three or so hours in the morning are the most productive that I could ever be. If I ran this experiment, I also was taking calls from like 9 a.m. to 12. And I found that when I'm taking calls from other people, my whole day is ruined. So
why?
Because I don't know what it is, but that's just kind of how my creativity and my willpower is very sharp in the mornings and late at night. But usually from like, 8 or 9 in the morning until like 12, I'm sharp as a tack personally. When I get on the call with you, I'm giving you my energy. It's draining me. So if I try to accomplish my most important needle pushing things in the morning, if I push that to the afternoon, my willpower's gone and my creativity is zapped and it just sucks.
Right.
And so then shit doesn't get done. So I have literally pushed all my calls to the afternoon where I'm already taking care of a lot of shit. And I'm just on there. I'm like, yeah, boom, 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 whatever. And so that's basically my typical day. And then around lunchtime, if I don't have a call, I usually try to put in a workout in that time frame. If I'm stacked with shit, I usually bump that workout to like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But I usually like to get it done around like noon. Sometimes even at like 11 in the morning if I can. It doesn't usually work out
like
that.
Dan's, we work out at like 1 in the morning.
Yeah. I find that if I like work out at like 11 or 12, my brain is just fucking going. It just I don't know what it is, dude, but it's like when you get that blood pumping, it goes to the brain. And so I start getting ideas. I start like, it helps me visualize like my goals. So I'm like literally doing burpees at my fucking house.
Yeah.
And I'm like visualizing what I'm accomplishing in life. And so I don't know what it is, but when I start fucking banging out like burpees and like hard shit, I start becoming him. Like I start becoming that person that I know that I'm, trying to build.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's basically my daily routine. And then I'll even follow that up with either, weights in the evening, like at night, like 9 or 10 p.m. weights, or like I'll go on, like I'll walk the dog or some sort of physical activity. I like to do weights, but I'll sometimes also put the weights at like in the middle of the day too. Yeah. But what has really been a game changer for me is like burpees. And that's because you're fucking straight winded.
Yeah.
You're winded, and like not the gay burpees where you jump up and down. Like that's gay. I'm talking about like Wes Watson style burpees.
Yeah.
Prison style burpees.
Yeah.
And so I'll usually try to do a combination of burpees, about 400 combinations.
Yeah.
Not total burpees. Like what I mean by combination is like, if you look up like burpees, there's like one where you, I forget what they're called. They're like frogman burpees or some shit. I forget. But there's like 3 push-ups in one burpee. That counts as 3, not 1. Right. And so I do like a combination of basically 400 push-ups, but that are a burpee variation. And it fucking sucks. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
But 10 minutes in or so, I start getting brain blasts. I start having ideas. I start like, I'm like, holy shit. Like, and then once I get through that workout and it fucking sucks, then I feel a sense of accomplishment as well. So I'm like, dude, I do this every single day. And like, I was even keeping like a journal where I would write down every single fucking burpee that I did. Dude, I had like literally a legal pad, like a yellow legal pad with just like with tallies just for days, dude. Like I literally had like 5 pages of tallies where I'm like, dude, I did like literally 50,000 burpees in like 2 months. Right. Damn. And so when you stack all of those things on and you like look at that, you're like, damn, like I'm a stud, and you think that, and you might like throw that to the wayside, but like all of those times that I'm doing that and all those wins that I get, I stack that up into one big win. And so all these micro wins throughout the day or throughout, the week, they all stack on top of each other. And that helps you win in the grand scheme of things because you know that you're a winner.
Because
you're not a loser.
Think the fitness stuff is just for the fitness stuff. Like, no, it's for everything else.
No, it's the mindset.
Dude, like on the flip side of it, like, tell me if you ever see this. Like, I genuinely think like when you're overweight, like you're dumber. Like you are less rational. You make worse decisions. You're a worse version of yourself, not just in your fitness, but in everything else.
I don't know if you believe in God, but do you think God is looking down on you and you're fat and you're fucking on the couch and you're jacking off every day to pornography? Do you think fucking God is looking down on you and is proud of you? Like, do you think anyone is proud of you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, dude. And do you think, does that mean if they're not proud of you, if God's not proud of you, do you think you're proud of you? Do you think that you can draw upon infinite intelligence, God, whatever it is that you believe? Do you think that you can draw that energy in when you're in that state? You're fat, out of shape, loser? No. And so when you fix that problem, bro, a whole new universe opens up to you.
Mm-hmm.
No joke. And I've experienced this. Like, no joke. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like there is this intangible force that's not seen that you can draw upon.
Yeah.
Like it's divine inspiration, however you call it, divine thought, there's this infinite storehouse of energy that you can literally pull on. And so when you get in that state, like, so for me, it's like I do fucking 100 burpees and I'm like, I know I'm like looking at my like goals and I'm like thinking about who I'm going to become. I start getting ideas. They start popping into my head. It's like, do this, do that. You could do this. I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like writing this shit down. Like, what? Like, I'm like super winded. I'm like, oh, I got to do this, and like compare that to like the state of like what you were just describing, like out of shape, like doesn't do shit, doesn't ever change their state. Like the whole thing about fitness is not only do you feel good about yourself and that you're winning and that you have standards, but you also change your state. So you go from that lethargic, procrastination state to the action. You're now you have taken action on something, and now your heart rate is up, your breathing is up. You have changed your state, and that affects the whole rest of your life.
100%, dude. Dude, tip for you: have you tried cold plunging?
Yes.
Do you have one?
Yes.
It's a game changer. Dude. I did it before the podcast. I did it before you picked me up.
Nice.
And it like shocks you, wakes you up. I try to do it at least like in the morning. I always do it before I do a podcast. It's the best time to do it.
I hate the cold plunge, dude.
I know, but that's why we have to do it.
That's why you have to do it. Exactly. So I had one in San Diego. I don't have one at my new house, which I need one. But dude, I literally feel like after I get out of that I survived. Like I survived something. Like I don't know what it is, but I would almost equate it to like I got in a fight. Like I don't know if you've ever been in a fight, like a street fight.
For sure.
And like after that, you're like sitting at your house and you're like, wow, like that was like gnarly.
Even if the rest of the day is just shit, you have one win.
Yeah.
Which is what you got in the fucking cold plunge.
Yes. But I'm serious. Like you feel like no stress after that. It's crazy. I don't know how I guess it's because if you stayed in it long enough, you would freeze to death. So it triggers some sort of, chemicals that are some sort of protective chemicals. I don't know how all the science behind it, but all I know is that it works.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually really looked into it. So what it does is it like has a role in replacing your baseline level of dopamine. So it actually lowers it. So anything you're going to do, whether that's like a task or something like that, is like you get more pleasure out of doing hard work in life.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's a game changer. I think you got to get one, bro. You got to get one as soon as possible.
I know. I got to get a new one for sure. It's hot enough too, to where it's kind of like, it's nice. It's so fucking hot. But other than that, on like the health side of things, dude, I think another thing that people should be looking into is peptides. Yeah. I think peptides, stem cells, and like, I think there's a lot of new science coming out about all kinds of ways that you can, improve your health in every metric, And so one big peptide that I've been taking is BCP 157.
It's like thymosin.
And then also TB 500, which is thymosin. So they're two different ones, but they both do very similar things. Like they're both healing peptides. And so I blew out my shoulder, like totally separated my shoulder playing paintball. And Dan hit me with the BCP 157. I went home that night and I couldn't sleep because I was in so much fucking pain, but my whole arm was burning. Yeah. And I couldn't sleep. Yeah. Then the next day I woke up and I was like, could actually like was a little bit better. And then I just kept hitting it with the BCP 157. And like literally a week, dude, I was doing shoulder presses. Like again. And I don't know if anyone here has ever had a fucking shoulder injury.
No.
It's unheard of.
Yeah.
It's unheard of. Like if you separate your shoulder, you're out from like 2 months.
Yeah.
I separated my other shoulder playing baseball and I couldn't hit for like a half a season. My shoulder was gone.
Yeah.
So I think that's another good one. And when you also use these peptides, if you like lift weights, your recovery time's way faster. So
Yeah.
you can actually lift more volume without damaging. Like if you were just working out like 3 times a day, right? Your muscles don't have any time to recover. So you wouldn't even see the type of gains that you think that you would, unless you're on steroids. That's a whole
if you're on
that's different.
That's different. Yeah.
That's different. But if you use these peptides, you can actually recover faster from lifting weights, which means that you can increase your volume of weightlifting, which means that you can get bigger faster.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that people should really be looking into.
And I think, tell me if you agree, I think every guy should get his test checked.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
like
sure.
no question.
I think a lot of people probably do have a testosterone problem. They've been drinking the water, drinking the tap water.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Eating in and out and fucking McDonald's.
I think
and
so.
Shit.
I think it's really diet related. Like if you have a shit diet and you're fat, you probably have low testosterone because of the
fucking fat you're carrying around.
Because of the choices that your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think that if I got my testosterone checked, but if my levels were low, I'd 100% take testosterone. And like, I was like wishing that my levels were low so that I could take testosterone. But I think that I might still hop on it like a little bit later on in life, like probably in my late 30s or so. I'll probably hop on, but I think that might even be a hack.
What was your level?
So I got tested twice. 2 years ago, I was at 1200. but then recently I got retested and I was around 800. So it's like
good. That's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather it be fucking higher, but I told him I was like,
You'd rather it be 3,000.
I would rather it be like literally 200 so that I could just take artificial testosterone or synthetic testosterone.
Yeah.
I think these bodybuilders that are really on testosterone, dude, their fucking T levels are at 10,000. So like, think about that for a second as well. Do you think that the person that's at a 10,000 test level will be more or less successful than a person that's at an 800 test level?
I mean, yeah. I don't know about 10,000. You might fucking die, but like
3,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about 3,000?
Bro, actually, I actually want to bring that up, dude. Being here and just like meeting all these influencers, I'm like, bro, everybody is on this.
Lots of people aren't.
Everybody's on it. Even the people we don't think are on it are on it.
No, you're right.
Like everyone I meet is on it.
You're 100% right. And to be honest with you, I think that some of the most famous and successful people that you see online and in real life, they're on gear.
Oh, like Jeff Bezos. I think Jeff
Bezos is for sure on gear.
Yeah.
He wasn't on gear in the beginning, obviously, but he's on gear now.
No. When he started putting on muscle and he started like taking his shirt off, he was on gear.
For sure.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. But I'm not a proponent. Like, I'm not telling anyone to take gear, but there seems to be a direct correlation between success, fame, and whatnot, and steroids. There seems to be a direct correlation.
Yeah.
Seriously. And so, I don't know.
Well, we do live in Las Vegas.
I think I probably will take gear, but not yet. Probably give me like 5 years, I'd say. Unless my test levels plummet out of nowhere. But like, dude, think about it. When you're blasting artificial testosterone, when you don't need it, most likely you're going to be pushing one button in here and another button is going to pop out the side.
Yeah.
You know, and so your liver, your organs.
Yeah.
There's also studies showing, if you watch any, like everyone should be watching Andrew Huberman, but there's a lot of other podcasts, health podcasts that you should watch. Dude, there's plenty of studies that show that steroids in particular and testosterone, when used at superhuman levels, like abused basically.
Yeah.
And if you have an 800 test and you're injecting more testosterone, you're abusing, right?
Yeah.
There's actually studies showing that it makes you dumber. There's actually studies showing that it decreases your longevity.
Yeah.
There's actually studies showing that it hurts your heart. Many, many things. So you also have to think, if I blast gear and I become famous and it helps me make more money, which it will, when you have higher testosterone, you will make more money. You'll be more driven to make money. Like, that's a fact. And so, but if you do that, you have to know that your longevity is going to suffer.